and Justin Ham. And Justin Ham. That's not it. And Justin Ham.
Hello there, Mr. Gholson. How are you doing this evening?
Hi, I'm doing good. You need me to sign something?
No. You. It's Morgan, the stage director.
Hi, Morgan.
Yes, you're in the green room. You're on the show as a guest this evening.
Thank you. Did you bring the jalapeno kettle chips? They were on my rider. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for making sure they're here.
I did bring. Yes, I saw it on the rider. This is your second time being asked to be a guest.
I'm so glad you noticed.
Yes, it's just kind of peculiar because we both work for the Stage Select, but Mr. Titus and Mr. Ham have never asked me to be on this show.
Well, if you were on the show, then who would make sure that everybody's riders are fulfilled? Like, who would make sure that that the M&Ms are here and that all the green ones have been picked out? And who would make sure that the bowls are filled with these potato chips or the family water? You have a lot of important duties here that I don't think the show could operate smoothly if you were also on the show. I mean, listen to yourself.
I hadn't thought about it that way, and to be honest, I don't know that I would want to be on the show, but it would be nice to have been asked once or twice.
Or start your own show, man. Just start your own show. That's what people are doing nowadays. They're starting their own stuff. They're not waiting to be asked. They're going out there and they're grabbing the bull by the horns. They're doing it themselves. That's what you got to do. You got to do it yourself. You seem like a go-getter. You seem like a highly energetic go-getter kind of guy. I could totally see you, having your own show, having a podcast studio. Get you one of those backdrops that look like AstroTurf, but it's like behind you with like a neon sign. I think that's like a requirement for most podcasts.
Yes, I should go speak to Colt Mangum. He's been doing some very interesting things in, I believe they call it the manosphere. This is... You've given me much to...
Oh. Okay.
Oh, hey, man. Hey, there... Oh, he's dead again? Okay, well, don't worry. I have a very large broom that I will use to push him into this corner, and then he'll wake up later. Don't worry. You just go have a good time, and that's all you need to do, man.
Okay, well, also, if you wouldn't mind grabbing a mop for the spot where he is right now. I mean, I appreciate you pushing him out of the way, but if you wouldn't mind taking care of the mess below.
I'll just wait till you leave the room and stuff, and then, I'll eat the rest of your chips and stuff, because that's, my tip, All
right, I'm taking him with me.
Well, that's a little unfair, but okay. I mean, you do you, man.
Live from beautiful downtown Bastrop, it's time for the Stage Select, starring Julian Titus and Justin Ham.
What could this possibly be? Seems a lot like a podcast, wonder what specifically. Talking about video games. With your hosts, you're in good hands, not more of the same. Now we'll jump right in. So expect the unexpected and more. Now we'll get grooving. Never know who's gonna walk through the door. There just might be some tragedy in this. Just having fun with a special guest. Time for Stage Select.
With special guest, friend of the show, John Gholson. And here are your hosts, Julian Titus and Justin Ham.
Welcome, one and all, to the Stage Select. I'm Julian Titus.
And I'm Justin Ham. John Gholson, what is your current favorite emoji?
That's an excellent question.
Yeah.
We have some wait music while I look it up on my phone.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. I can
That's
I
like
can
the
talk.
fastest you've invoked the name of the guest
Yeah,
ever.
Yeah, I've been building. I knew exactly how I was opening this one. Now I don't always know. Sometimes I'm just like, how's it gonna open this? Oh right.
These might reflect my personality.
Yeah.
Number one is the I don't know shrug.
Okay, fair.
Number two is the hand on chin. You've given me much to think about face.
Okay, yeah.
Number three is the like laugh, like haha, that's so funny that I'm making this face instead of
Right.
like typing LOL. I use that one a lot. And then the fourth one, I don't know that other people use it. I use it a lot, which is the invisible symbol where it's like someone is like faded away, where it's like
Okay.
it's like a dotted outline of the neutral face.
Okay.
And I use that one quite a bit as well. But yeah,
Okay.
shrug is my number one.
That's a good one. That's a good one. Mine, so I've started, using a little bit more emojis, mostly because I discovered that there are more than I thought there were. If you just keep scrolling down, and they get insane to the point where I don't understand why they exist.
Wait, what?
Yeah, like at least on my phone. So I have an Android. I've like with Samsung Galaxy, whatever the fuck. And if you just go and look around, if you just scroll down the fucking emoji list, it starts to get really fucking wild. Like there's just a robot leg.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but there's just a robot leg.
It's what you call it? It's a prosthetic. Yeah,
prosthetic leg. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's just but why?
There's
I
also
don't really
a prosthetic flexing bicep arm.
Yeah, there's also that. There's also a man fencing. There's a man juggling, which is one I use a lot now for no reason.
Why are there 3 Draculas?
Yeah, I don't know.
Like
There's like 3 mountain climbers. There's like
wasn't one Dracula enough?
no,
Well,
apparently it wasn't.
You see, John, at one point, Van Helsing sat on this throne that gave him godlike omniscient powers.
I mean, that's
and
all
he asked
fair.
about the origin of Dracula, and he found out
Right.
that there were 3 Draculas. And
Yeah.
then, like 5 years later, we finally got the storyline about the 3 Draculas.
Right.
That's a really weird DC Comics reference that like 3 people will get.
Right. But it's wild. There's just like people in a rowboat. There's a blind man for some reason. It's great. It's a wild world of emojis that nobody uses. So I've taken the mantle of just trying to use all of them for no reason. So people will give me genuine emojis, like a shrug emoji, for example, and I will just reply with, a man mountain climbing for no reason.
This brings me to an interesting question.
Okay.
Do y'all feel that old people are the ones who use a lot of emojis in their texting? Because what I found, like when I started like communicating with my father
Yes.
more often, is that he would put a lot of emojis in his texts.
Mhm.
And then I noticed that like my friends in Colorado do the same thing when they text. And the more that I like spend time with them, the more I feel that they are rapidly turning 67.
Yeah.
Like I went back to visit them last week, and they had turned the motion smoothing back on their TV.
Right.
So I got to watch like a bunch of movies like in that really awful motion blur smoothing thing.
Right.
And like there's just like a lot of things that they're just like old people. It's hard to describe, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I don't use a lot of emojis. I'm a GIF guy. Like I do a lot of
That's the thing the younger people do. My sister does that a lot.
So I'm respectful. I'm respectful of the GIF thing because I've met people who hate opening their phone and seeing a looping video that they can't really. They feel like they have no control over. So I've heard that before. So it gets me in my own head about
That's
GIFs.
fair.
I'm looking at our conversation, Julian, just to see how often I've used them with you lately. I used a couple. Did I give you back your key? I did use the like, I'm thinking face.
yeah.
Yeah.
But specifically, like you didn't put a key emoji after the key. That's the kind of texting I'm talking about.
Oh yeah,
Right.
I use contextual conversational emojis. So like, how am I? What would if we were in front of each other? What's the closest approximation to
Right.
the face I'm making or the mood that I'm in?
Sure.
Not necessarily like I have to feed the cats. Cat, fish. It's like
Right.
I'm not like
Right. Yeah.
I'm not putting together rebuses
Even-
for you to solve.
Even if you
Right.
even if you did that, I could understand why those emojis existed for the pure sake of that. But like, I don't know who is like, using a canoe enough to where this needs to be an emoji. I just don't understand that.
Yeah.
I've
Justin,
also-
why did you send me roe shrimp fencer?
Yeah. These are the types of things that I like to text people now.
That's my favorite
okay.
anime.
Yeah. There's just that's not a row. That's the boatman.
Oh, the
as
boat-
I call him.
Okay.
Boatman
and he
Shrimp
will-
Fencer is in season 24 on
Right. Yeah.
Crunchyroll.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know why there's a fencer, but there he is. I just call him the poker. And he'll poke you. I love the worst emoji. I don't understand why there's so many now. Like I kept scrolling one day and I was just like, oh, these need to be used. Nobody is using these. Somebody's got to come to the plate with this.
A lot of them have really old origins going back to the 90s with phrases that were, if I know my history of emojis, it has to do with a type of text called Unicode that was like global. So you could communicate certain words with Unicode that were global words. And the reason we have a standardized emoji library is because they all come from these Unicode phrases. So you would see the code if you were in Italy or Japan or America and you wanted to ask a question about canoeing, you could use that code and it would represent the same no matter what country you were in. And so that's why it's
lots
very
of canoeing, lots of international canoeing questions going on.
So it started with like basic emotions, basic activities, some like yes, no kind of stuff. Directions are part of it, like that base set.
Yeah,
Then we
yes.
start to expand and we get into like again, the multiple Draculas, or like the fact that like I have like there's zombies for some reason, or like it's sort of like we don't really like, I don't know that the Unicode part of it is still, even though that's the foundation it was built on, I still don't think I don't think that's the driving factor for it anymore. I think it's driven more now by probably like popular demand, or maybe somebody's crazy idea of what should be in here.
It's almost like they were looking at like, well, we need stuff for food. These are things people are commonly texting about or something. I don't know. And here we are. But it's just a wild world of emojis that I'm fascinated by. And
I really like when I get the big doe eye emoji from a girl, because that usually means that she's kind of freaky. I don't make the rules. That's just
fair.
That's just how it be on the internet sometimes.
Yeah, that's fair.
Addie's like, no, he's not wrong.
I just made up a face that I sent to Julian that is let me see if I can get this on the screen for Justin.
It's bacteria with a ring and another bacteria.
Coronavirus and a hole and another coronavirus. And it makes a little face. It makes like a little I'm shocked face.
It does.
So
it's got its own like Binding of Isaac vibe to it.
It does.
Yeah.
It also perfectly sums up the last 5 years.
It really does.
All right. Before we get started, just a quick couple announcements. We have the next game selected for the next episode of the Suffer Select for Patreon. After I mentioned on the show, like, why it was a couple things where I was like talking about how much I don't like the look of Hollow Knight. And how Quantum Error looked kind of like my shit. That drastically changed the wins of the poll, and everybody changed their votes. So we are playing Hollow Knight for the next Suffer Select, which I'm upset,
Yeah.
but it was the correct call.
It probably is. Yeah.
Yeah. Thankfully, it's on Game Pass. I downloaded it last night, and I was just looking at like the titles, like the box art on my Xbox, and I was like, I fucking hate this character design so fucking much. I do not want to touch this thing.
It looks like every indie game ever, but don't people like Hollow Knight? Like I thought
people fucking love Hollow Knight.
Really like Hollow Knight. Yeah.
It is we'll see. I could, I'm willing
we could be wrong. Oh,
I could end up loving it.
You could love it.
Everything that I've seen about it is like Julian Kryptonite, where it's like that is the opposite of what I want from one of these games. I hate the look of it. I hate the designs. I hate splatformers, which this has a lot of. It seems like I hate shoehorning Souls style combat into 2D platform games. I basically hate everything that it's attempting to do. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
Also, as of this going up, if for executive producer patrons, the latest episode of Cinemorons has come out, which is where we talked about A Scanner Darkly, which was a lot of fun.
It was.
I continue to enjoy talking to Justin about movies, and that was a particularly interesting one, John, because I forgot that it was filmed in Austin, and so I was like clocking actual locations in the backgrounds, and I was like, this is an Austin that doesn't exist anymore. Holy shit.
Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. But you can check those out on Patreon. And we've been, well, it's been my fault, but we've been sitting on a bunch of comments, questions, and concerns, or CQC.
Okay.
So I thought we would do a CQC sandwich on this episode and get a little caught up on these.
Okay.
Starting with comments on YouTube.
Oh boy.
Because I had asked in the Discord 1 week
already.
if people could just like kind of pump the not E3 episode, just because I wanted to see, okay, if we get like a couple like extra views on this where people actually are letting it run and stuff like that, would that then push it to a larger audience? It didn't. So I'm not going to ask for that again.
You were trying to salt and pepper the situation, and it didn't work out.
It did not.
No. You did not push it real good. Unfortunately,
I did not push it real good.
No.
But some of our diehards were really nice and subscribed and also left some comments. Excellent. So this one comes to us from Xavier Krager, who said, "Great episode. Can't wait until you guys cover the rest of the fest," which of course was the Xbox stuff that we did the following week. And then 60 said, "This is my favorite video game podcast on the Citadel."
Okay.
Which I appreciate that. I see what you did
nice.
There. And now I will grab a couple from the Discord, which I'm going to have to go back because it's been a bit. They've been stacking, and I apologize.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well, it happens,
It does happen. We had, some special episodes. We had some episodes go long. We skipped a week. So let's see. We did that one. Did that one. It was a great radio. I'll cut this in post though.
And Justin.
That's all right.
How was that?
That's okay.
Xavier Krager says, "What video game character do you think is the worst compared to their original version? Could be anything from their design going downhill over time to you think their personality has become less interesting, and vice versa. Who do you think has improved the most over their original version?"
I got a hot take.
Yeah.
I'm coming in with a hot take.
Do it.
Get your knives sharp. Old school Sonic, you didn't have a feel for what his attitude was. You just knew he had a little bit of attitude. He'd get impatient, tap his foot. He'd look at you, he'd break the fourth wall. I liked Sonic when he was a little bit more mysterious, and I could sort of infuse him with whatever personality I thought he had, versus like, I love chili dogs, let's go fast, like all that stuff. I think that, and that's fine. People can love that version of Sonic, but I don't think that any of that was an improvement on Sonic being a little bit more of a cipher.
I can see that.
Yeah,
for sure.
100%. Yeah.
I'm trying to think about worst compared to their original, but better I can think of right off the bat, which is Lara Croft.
Yeah.
I think the modern interpretation of Lara Croft is like far and
That
away.
was the one that came to my mind too, was actually her.
I really like those more recent Tomb Raider games. I'm worried about the future of it, which we might talk about the Xbox layoffs this episode, because there's some Crystal Dynamics involved stuff there that I worry about. That company and
oh boy,
you know, the stuff that they own. But
I also prefer villainous Donkey Kong to like cute and cuddly mascot Donkey Kong.
Sure.
I kind of like old school bad guy Donkey Kong.
Yeah. I do like the new Donkey Kong design because it harkens back to the original arcade design quite a bit.
Sure.
With like the darker like eyes, the ring around the eyes type thing.
Yeah. I can see that for sure. Oh man, I do think I like the original version of Cloud from Final Fantasy VII because they changed him a couple times. Not so much in the remake. They kind of went back to basics, but like when he was in like Kingdom Hearts and they started like adding tape to the sword and shit like that, it was like okay, yeah.
And like the Advent Children.
Yeah, then he had like the big sleeve and all this shit. Yeah, like but I guess opposite of that. I kind of liked Tifa later in Advent Children. I thought that was kind of a cooler design, but I don't know. It goes back and forth on that.
I don't know if this counts because they're technically two different characters, but by the time you get to the later Mega Man X entries, I'm kind of out with the design. Yeah. I prefer that basic blue bomber of the original, and even like original Mega Man X before like the bulky armor became like just the default thing. I liked getting the armor throughout the course of the game, but eventually like he just always had the armor, and I always felt that like it was a little too busy for just like the base character, and so that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Although I don't, there also aren't really Mega Man games anymore. So
no. One could argue that it would be fun if they really leaned into the like that OG box art version of it and did something with that sort of design. I think that would be fascinating now.
If you ever look up the Japanese box art for Mega Man and Bass, that is a really cool design for Mega Man because it's still the overall classic look, but he has a lot more mechanical bits of detail to him. Like he's got like a very obvious chest compartment seam and like kind of little rivets around his gauntlets and stuff like that. It's a really cool look. It's just slightly more detailed, but you realize like, oh, that's kind of what I was missing from him this whole time, and I didn't realize it.
Yeah, but I think I mostly agree with you on Lara Croft though, where they got I didn't give a shit about Lara Croft and the older Tomb Raiders. Like they were just kind of there to have an adventure, and that was really about it. And be British, I guess, and rich.
Yeah.
They actually made them a much more fascinating character. In the newer ones,
absolutely.
Anyway.
Oh, this is a perfect one with John being here. Another one from Xavier. Let's see. Who would win in a game of dodgeball between the Looney Tunes and Hanna-Barbera characters? Who is your favorite from each side?
Ooh. Oh, gosh. I mean, it's all right. So this is too complicated a question for me. Because you're really looking at like hundreds of characters on the Hanna-Barbera side, and you're talking about a couple dozen on the Looney Tunes side. And so I would need to know teams.
You would need to know teams. Yeah,
that's true.
You
can fucking stack the deck on the Hanna-Barbera side with like you can get like the Herculoids and Grape Ape and fucking like Space Ghost.
Here's the thing though, most Hanna-Barbera cartoons follow like a certain logic though. Like they're kind of like they're not completely grounded in reality, and especially not all of them. But like Looney Tunes are fucking chaos.
True.
Like,
But
you
they
know what
have
I
worked
mean?
together as a team before.
And they have worked together as a team before.
Now, the Hanna-Barbera characters have worked together as teams on Laugh Olympics, but the teams
That's
were
true.
divided up by like the villain. You had the villain
The
team.
villains.
You had the Scooby team, which were a little bit more human and like mod, cool 70s characters. And then you had
Right.
the Yogi Yahooies, which were like kind of like the characters from the 60s, like Yogi and Quick Draw. And they worked
Right.
as teams. But they did not work as all one team. And I have a hard time seeing like Shaggy on a team with Yogi necessarily like winning anything, or even
Right.
like I can't picture Fred and Barney playing the sport. I kind of think I have to give it to the Looney Tunes just because they have operated as a team before.
Yeah.
Although Julia makes a good point with the height and the power and the speed.
Oh,
It-
sure.
this- the
I
question's-
can
the
see
question's
that.
too vague. I need a draft and I need to know who's playing,
Yeah.
and then I can answer this question.
I can see that. In my personal opinion, I think it's the Looney Tunes just because the level of logic is like out the window. Like there's no like actual grounded in reality like holding them back for the most part. I know there's like a couple Hanna-Barbera cartoons that maybe have that level of chaos, but like Bugs Bunny can just like appear and do weird shit and then just be in a disguise in like 2 seconds. And how is this happening? Don't fucking worry about it. People are
That's-
getting shot with bullets and they're fine.
You're right. 'Cause
bullets, Doc.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Hanna-Barbera side, but it's almost the plot of Space Jam, right? Like the Hanna-Barbera team would be the Monstars because they would just be loaded with like a bunch of massive beefy characters, but the Looney Tunes would result to
The Looney Tunes go to their sticks, and then what are you gonna do?
yeah.
How are you gonna beat Taz and if he turns into the little tornado man in the middle of the dodgeball game? You can't hit him. Well, maybe you can. I don't really know how that works, but it'll be fine. I really do think the Looney Tunes would win that, in my personal opinion.
Yeah, I think you guys are right.
Yeah,
I can't commit. I
understand. I understand.
commit.
It is something you would need.
John's
to
way
have a
too
draft.
close to this.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Yeah. Let's see. This one comes to us from Dennis75, who says, what is your favorite Metal Gear Solid game? Or I guess Metal Gear game. He wants us to rank them. That's a bit much. Okay, let's do this because it's a lot of questions. Favorite Metal Gear game and favorite Metal Gear villain. Let's kind of boil it down to that.
Yeah.
And that can be like the whole series. It doesn't have to just be Solid. Although mine, it's hard in my memory, it's Metal Gear Solid 4.
Okay.
But I have only played it the one time.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that like a bunch of my love for it at the time was just how much it tied up all of those plot threads
Right, yeah.
in a way that might have, that might, I know a lot of people were turned off by, like they felt like there was a little bit too much, fan service and nodding back to the previous games. And there
is, but it's also a culmination of everything that it's led up to that point. So it kind of works, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? I think in my heart of hearts, if I'm being very true to myself, it actually is Metal Gear Solid 1.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. I think mine's definitely Metal Gear Solid 1. Like, it's pretty much 100% on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially then.
Yeah. Yeah, at the time it came out, it was mind blowing. Like I love the sequels. They're all great, but like, yeah, no, one was very special. It's kind of the Final Fantasy VII of the series. Like, it may not be the best one ever or anything like that, but like, it's my favorite one.
Yeah.
So yeah.
John, have you messed with Metal Gear? Metal Gear?
I played Metal Gear.
Yeah.
I played Metal Gear.
The original Metal Gear?
I played Metal Gear, yeah. It's very, very hard, and I can only clear like 3 or 4 screens before I like can't go any farther.
Yeah.
and
That's about
then
right.
I played Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
Played a chunk of that. And then didn't touch a Metal Gear again until Phantom Pain, and played through a good chunk of that. But, as has been noted on this show before, the more a game requires you to be patient and stealthy, the less less it clicks with me. We
Right.
talked about that when we talked about the Hitman games.
Yeah.
And Metal Gear requires a level of patience that I don't. It doesn't stick to my ribs. I don't get addicted to that style of gameplay. So I can play. I played Phantom Pain for like a really good chunk, and then kind of was just like, all right, like I get it, moved on. So I've never completed a Metal Gear game, and those are the only 3 that I've ever played. So
Okay.
Yeah. Do you find that you have more patience for that now that you're older? Because I feel like I
Less.
have more patience as I get
less
older.
patience.
Mm.
I want more. I if I'm gaming, I want more. I want greater instant gratification.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I want to play through things. I don't want to. It even comes down to like boss fights and stuff like that. Like I'll put a game aside if I die like 3-4 times in a row. I'm like, all right, and then that game won't get played for like months.
Right.
I might go back to it. Well, that's happening right now because I got all the way to the end of the Thaumaturge and like tried the boss battle I think 3 times in a row and couldn't beat the final boss and just was like, all right, and I haven't picked it back up again. And it's at this point it's been a couple months and just that final boss battle sits unplayed. So I don't have the patience nowadays for that kind of stuff.
I get you.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, it's the opposite. When I was a kid, like you get the game and that's what you have for the weekend and you just focus on it. You do it and redo it and redo it and redo it. Like I feel like I was way more patient as a younger gamer. You have less stuff to do in your life. And like as an adult, like I don't have time. I don't value the time spent trying to beat the same boss over and over and over and over when
Right.
I'm already putting things aside and procrastinating by playing the game in the first place. So it's sort of like a mental break that's like, okay, I'm not beating this. I should do the things I'm supposed to be doing right now instead of doing this.
Yeah, I think for me what it was is that when I was younger, I would rush and I didn't grok that, oh man, I can't use that word anymore. Fucking Elon Musk. I didn't really comprehend that I needed to be like patient in places or kind of pick my spots where as I got older, like I have become more cognizant of that and kind of learned to wait for opportunities and stuff like that. And then I also think we might talk about it later, we might not, but like playing through Elden Ring twice and getting the platinum on the second playthrough really kind of cemented that like I get the pleasure of spending time on a boss to learn the boss and then ultimately overcome the boss.
Yeah.
So I don't think that if I had played that 10 years ago that would have been the case. I think I would have just been like, oh fuck this, and then just like not touched it again. As far as favorite Metal Gear villain, this is kind of a cop out because I don't know that Kojima actually had any input on this character. But it's Senator Armstrong from Metal Gear Rising.
Okay.
The final boss.
I think he did, but I don't know 100%.
I know he had some involvement on Rising, but I don't know how much, and I don't know how much of like the characters are
I'm
his.
I'm always a little confused on that stuff too.
Yeah. But turbo libertarian Senator Armstrong with nanomachines in his blood. Pretty good last boss.
Yeah, it is pretty good. That is.
And I remember playing it at the time, being like, he makes some good points.
Yeah. Yeah. I really like Revolver House a lot. I just really like him.
No, yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah. his logic is absolutely absurd. Of just like, what if I just put this other guy's hand on mine? What if I just do that?
Mhm.
Why would you do that? I don't know. I don't know. What if I? Yeah, God, it's so nuts. I love it. But his whole like introduction speech of like him just talking about how the Colt Single Action Army is the greatest gun ever made and all this other shit. It's so great. I love Revolver Ocelot, and he's like a cock. He never goes away. It's great. It's fantastic. He's amazing.
Yeah. I love reloading.
He does love reloading. Why wouldn't he?
Let's see. Quick, we'll do this last one, and then we'll come back to some more later on in the show. But 60XL asks, pancakes or waffles?
Pancakes.
Pancakes.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't. Waffles are too waffles are too crunchy for me. I like a mush.
So if we're talking about like Eggo waffles at home, I can get down with that. But when it comes to like ordering at a restaurant, it's like stack of pancakes or one waffle. And I'm like, I want stack of pancakes, please.
Yeah.
Waffle. And if I'm ordering at a restaurant, 1,000% waffle.
That's fair.
I cannot believe the answers I'm hearing right now.
I'm sorry, John. I just feel differently.
Have you had Kirby Lane pancakes, John?
Yes, I have had Kirby Lane pancakes, and they're really good. But that's one restaurant. That's one restaurant.
I just prefer a pancake. What can I tell you?
The best waffle, the best waffle against the best pancake. The best waffle is better than the best pancake, in my opinion. You still get the syrup, you still get the butter, but the waffle has a more complex flavor than a pancake does. There are notes of vanilla. There's textural differences.
John, I respect your opinion, but I also, disagree with it. I'll saying.
See you behind the Waffle House.
That's fair. That's fair. The Waffle House. There's the Perkins House of Pancakes as well, and also a lot of breakfast food houses. If you really think about it. Just for anybody interested, Chef Man does have at least 3 different kinds of waffle makers that you can pick up at home, and high quality products.
Are you guys posting affiliate links? When are you posting affiliate links?
We're working on it. We're working on it.
All right.
I have yet to find out Chef Man's email because they won't give it to me. But I'll get there. I am on their list of to tell me about all their nice promotions. As of this recording, it's Prime Day, so there's some discounts, but it probably won't be when you actually listen to it. So.
No, actually, today was the last day.
I know it was.
That thing fucking sucked because I needed to order some dress shirts I'm going to a work conference towards the end of the month, and like I think it ended up being a glitch, but because I'm not a Prime member anymore, like I found some nice dress shirts that were like a good price, but then it was like, oh, that's the Prime sale price. But here's the regular price. I was like, okay, let me get the regular price. And it was like, you're not a Prime member. And I'm like, I'm not trying to get the Prime price. I just want to order the shirts, please. Yeah. And it wouldn't let me do it. And I was like, am I going to have to wait until this fucking sale's over? And then, but then I just backed out and went back later and then it was fine. But like,
okay, that's weird.
For a split second, I was like, you're literally not going to even give me the option to pay the normal price for it.
I just know that Chef Man has a waffle maker because, believe it or not, that actually came up in a conversation today of I should get a waffle maker, or I should get somebody a waffle maker. And I was like, well, let me see if Chef Man has one.
Was it me?
Enough, it was
me? I don't want to ruin the surprise, but it was me?
Well, John, listen, if I didn't even know they made this kind of waffle maker. I've never seen one, but they have a rotating one.
What? That's what I do when I eat them.
That
works out. No, it works out. I do that. The first taste of a waffle, I spin around like a kid from a 90s advertisement.
Yeah. Absolutely. No. Okay, so it's made to get all the waffle batter evenly.
Yeah.
So it
That's what my
rotates
mouth
almost
does.
like a spit, like a cooking spit.
Yeah, I spit too when I taste a waffle. Just
That's
tons
fair,
of
that's fair.
saliva.
Yet you spit because you're tasting waffle, and you're like, "This. I wish I was tasting pancake instead."
That's true. That's
Oh,
fair.
how dare you!
All right.
John Gholson,
That's me.
you did kind of an amazing thing.
I ate
And you were-
the waffle.
He ate
You
a
ate
waffle.
the waffle.
He, many waffles, probably.
And by the waffle, we mean the Big Apple. You ate the Big Apple because you went to the Big Apple. You were inside the Big Apple for your big movie premiere, which
Picture spotlights.
yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I can't put the picture in here, but you did post like on socials, like you were a dapper looking motherfucker for this premiere, my friend.
Yeah.
It was legit. Like, not to discount other premieres I've been to, but there's Tribeca's like a big one, right? Because it's sort of like you have Sundance, then maybe the number 2 in the country is Tribeca, maybe South by. They probably jockey for position as far as like what the number 2 is.
Mhm.
But it's like it was a fancy pants affair.
Yeah.
It was a big deal. And I bought a suit for it that I actually didn't wear to the premiere.
Nice.
Which, well, they have a press day. So when you're in a movie and you are a principal, when you're a principal lead in a film that plays the Tribeca Film Fest, and you're there for it, you'll have to do what's called a press day, which is that you get your picture taken for photos that you can't afford because they're like Shutterstock and Getty and places like that. And you get your picture taken and you run through a gauntlet of like press interviews. People see those all the time with like actual big celebrities where they're like in front of like a poster of the movie and they're like sitting across from someone and they're getting interviewed. That's sort of like you sit in that room and then they just rotate out the press as you answer the stuff. Yeah. So I did a little bit of that. Yeah. New York was extremely hot when I was there. It was like very, very, very humid, and it rained every day, and then the sun would come out, and so it was like I was walking the streets of New York and was like soaked through my clothes every single day. Like every bit of me was soaked through my pants, my shirt. And I was contemplating whether or not I wanted to wear the suit to the actual premiere. It's like a green. I kind of like rolled the dice on. I put more. Everybody else was a little more casual. I think me and Kelsey, who plays the lead protagonist in the film, she was dressed like super fancy, and I was dressed super fancy, and everybody else was like they were dressed nice, but I don't think it was. I think they'd been to the dance before, so they weren't as concerned about like dressing to the nines.
If I ever got to do something like that and I had the money, I would go to a tailor and say, I want to look like Gene Kelly at the beginning of Singing in the Rain. Like that is the outfit that I want.
I did have my, for the first time ever, I did have stuff altered. I had my pants altered so that they actually fit my legs. And I have a weird body. My body is kind of small. I am fat, but I'm not, I have a fatter face than I do a body. And what happens is shirts won't button around, like shirts that fit my body don't button around my neck, and shirts that button around my neck hang off me like a tent. Like they're enormous if they, so I've got a really thick neck. And that's a pain in the ass. So I had the shirt altered. I had to buy the big tent type shirt to get it around my neck. And then I had the shirt altered, to fit my body. But yeah, it was so hot. I opted not to wear the suit because I was like, I'm going to be outside at the, what I was calling the red carpet before I got there. And then I learned the terminology is step and repeat. They call it a step and repeat. They don't call it the red carpet. It is a red carpet. But it is it is known as the step and repeat. Oh, you've got to do the step and repeat is what they say. So I was like, I'm going to be outside for that. And so I opted to wear something else. Also thinking about being at the after party for a couple hours. Like, do I want to be wearing that and be like drenched with sweat? So I wore something cooler for the night, which was good that I swapped, because I was going to wear the cooler, lighter clothes for the photo, and then was going to wear the nicer clothes for the premiere. And I flipped it, and I wore the nicer suit for press day and the more casual for the premiere. Anyways, yeah, step and repeat is like this run where you have the sponsor wall and you have the red carpet, and you go down it, and you literally step and repeat. You stop. They tell you to stop. You stop in one place. There's a whole bunch of photographers. They take your picture. You kind of pose a couple different ways. Then you walk about 10 feet ahead and you do the same thing. And there's like stations.
Does make sense.
So like you go down and you do it at each station.
Yeah.
One of the funny things about that is it's out on the streets of New York. So everybody, the common people, the commoners see the elite Hollywood superstars like myself, as I sit in my shabby Pflugerville apartment, and they don't know what's going on, but they see that, oh, those people must be important because they're walking the red carpet and they're having their picture taken. And so it attracts a throng of people who have no idea who you are, but are so celebrity hungry that they all get out their phones just in case they're capturing video or photos of someone who might be famous that they simply don't know. So when they see you stopping at each station on this like step and repeat red carpet, and they see that there's professional photographers, like they're taking photos of you, there's like a throng of people with phones out, like holding it up and like trying to get your picture and taking video and taking selfies with me, even though I'm like, it's just like, you
don't even know who I am.
You don't know who I am.
Right.
Like, it's so dumb. So there's a bunch of people that I guess live in New York or went to Tribeca that have like photos of me that I will never see in my entire life. Yeah, the whole experience was it's very surreal to go through all of that. I was telling Julian, we hung out the other day, like before we get there for press day and we go into this room and we're waiting to have our picture taken, and Nick Offerman is waiting to have his picture taken before us. So like our cast and crew is hanging out, like Nick Offerman's right there. And it was a situation where it's like, I felt like I had to act like I've been to the dance before in a way that was like maybe a little more detrimental. Cause I typically, because I've worked at Comic-Cons and stuff like that, I don't necessarily get too in my head about like approaching somebody and saying, hey, I love your work. Just wanted to say hi, like something, that kind of thing. Yeah. In this particular scenario, I was like, oh, we're peers right now. Like, he's going to go in there and get his picture taken, and then we're going to go in there and get our picture taken. Like, it felt weird to kind of like fanboy out. So he was before us, and we went in there and got our picture taken. We went up to the second floor, and then the person. So I discovered this, and I'll post a photo in the episode thing on Discord. But there's like a facsimile of the step and repeat upstairs in this large indoor room. And I'd never thought about that before, but it makes sense, because if you're an actress or an actor and you want your hair to look good and your makeup to look good, you don't want to look sweaty, you can get your picture taken upstairs in front of something that looks like you've done the outdoor step and repeat. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So
that's crazy to know that though.
Yeah. So there's like a fake, it's a real red carpet, but it's a fake red carpet, because you're not in front of the public. You're not actually walking down it and like waving. It's like up there for photos so that you can get your red carpet photo without the wind blowing your hair in your face.
Huh.
And so we go up there, and Lucy Liu was having her photos taken at that thing. And then they were taking photos of us over on the side. I think it was Getty was taking pictures of us. And then Getty and Shutterstock, probably Getty was doing the step and repeat at the actual premiere itself. And then Getty sends you an email, and they're like, hey, here's all the pictures from, it's funny, because it's one of those situations where it's like, that's me, and I didn't sign a contract with Getty, but Getty's like, if you want a high res version, it's $300 a photo. It's like I don't want. I'll pass on the high res version. I'd like to pay my rent.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah. So I did not buy a high res Getty image of myself. I wish I had the disposable income to just be like, oh sure, yeah, give me the whole set, but I do not. And then we had the premiere, and the premiere was great. People liked the movie. It was a very interesting experience. Oh, I didn't tell Julian this. When I got out of the first screening, a guy came up to me and he was like, "Hey," even telling the story, I'm just like, "Wait, what?" He was like, "Hey, you were in Don't Buy the Liverwurst," and I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Yeah, when I saw you on the screen at the beginning of the movie, I was like, oh, that's that Liverwurst guy." And I was like, "Yeah." So there was a comedy film festival in Austin that's kind of small. Like Julian came to see
Yeah.
Don't Buy the Liverwurst, and I think there were only like 3 people there. Like nobody saw this thing. And like the first night we had a good crowd. We did have like a packed house for the first one. Julian came to the second one. It was like pretty thin.
Yeah.
But it's not like a big festival. It's only in its second year. It's trying to get up off the ground. It's a very low budget fest, a very indie, very DIY fest. But this guy was there that saw me in Don't Buy the Liverwurst, and then was at Tribeca and saw me in Man Finds Tape, and that blew my mind. It blew my mind. I was just like, there's no way. Are you kidding? Like, he could probably see the look on my face. I was just like, whoa, what? I didn't expect that.
John, I know that we've known each other for about 27 years now, and there's like lots of history and lots of things that I could refer, like when I think of you, that I can refer to. But from this point on, you are now just a Liverwurst guy.
The Liverwurst guy.
He's the Liverwurst guy.
Yeah, it was cool. Everybody liked the movie, more or less. Everybody, I mean, even the negative reviews and the positive reviews, they all kind of like trip up on the ending a little bit. I think even the first time I watched it, I think the ending needed a second viewing, because the structure of the film is not like a horror film. The structure of the film is like a documentary, and the characters in the documentary need a resolution. So even though the scary stuff happens a little bit before the credits roll, it sort of needs that tail end to kind of wrap up the story of the people that are in this sort of fake documentary. And I think the first time you watch it, you're kind of like, you already have kind of come off the ride a little bit, so you're sort of waiting for it to end. I think the second time you watch it, I felt like I got a better picture of like, okay, this is needed. Like, we need this resolution with these characters. And it's everybody's first time to watch it, which is fine. It opened at 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, which was really, really strong for a no budget indie horror film.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And I went, okay, cool. I'm going to enjoy this victory. It's only going to go down from there. We got more reviews, and it went up to 93%, where it currently sits on Rotten Tomatoes. So, hey, if you like crazy horror movies, creepy, if you like true crime and cosmic horror freaks you out, then Man Finds Tape will be coming to some platform somewhere sometime soon. It is.
Thank you. Jeez, I was like, what's the name of the movie, John?
Man Finds Tape.
Man Finds Tape. Times.
Yeah. Okay.
But it won't. But it's looking for a buyer right now. It was. XYZ is handling sales on it, and it's looking for a buyer. Probably end up on some like horror streaming service. We hope. But yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, the response to it was really great. I couldn't have been happier. I had some private messages of people like, "Hey, I'm so different. Like, sitting here talking to you now, I'm so different than my character in the movie."
Right.
Like, to the point that I was at a party. I don't know if I told this story the last time I was on. I may not have had the party by then, but I was at a party and I talked to a guy for like 45 minutes, and he went to leave. It was the boyfriend or the husband of our lead. His name's Jeff Ray. He's a photographer, but him and I were just chewing the fat, just talking. And Kelsey was like, "Hey, are you ready to go?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm ready to go." And then she's hugged me. He said, "Bye, John," that sort of thing. And he looked, and his jaw dropped, and he goes, "Wait, you were the preacher?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "No way, you were the preacher?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he just stood there. He was like, "Oh my God, I've been talking to you this whole time, and I didn't even know." He's like, "I knew you were in the movie, but I never put two and two together." And I was like, "That's, why?" And he goes, "Why?" I said, "Because I'm cute." It's like, I'm cute. I'm standing here in front of you. I'm cute. Reverend Endicott Carr is not cute. I'm cute. Yeah, we laughed, but I like it when people are like have that kind of like expectation reset. It's a lot of fun and really satisfying as an actor to have somebody be like, I had no that idea that was you, or I didn't know you had it in you, or you were like
Right.
really good based on expectations of whatever personal energy I give off or whatever I'm like in conversation, like whatever. It's nice to, it was really, and that's one of the things too. It was nice to have a role where I could be a character, like actually like slip into something that's like so different than who I am when I navigate the world.
Right.
And I'm kind of I'm a not a good guy. I'm a manipulative small town preacher. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
John, during the like the press junket,
Yeah.
was it like, was there anything where was there anything that stuck out where where it was just like, you know, like either a weird question or like, you know, sometimes those things can be a little bit like awkward.
They were a
and
little
stuff.
awkward because some of them were virtual, and that was a little awkward. Just the audio and stuff was a little funky. No, I mean, and it wasn't. We didn't hit a battery of like the same questions over and over. And if we did, I think we were all so green that if we got asked again, we had either an opportunity. So I probably did answer the same thing twice, but what it did was it made me go, oh, either I thought I need to answer that differently next time, because I rambled too much or I had to search for the answer, or
Right.
it was a case of me going, okay, that came out really succinct in practice. I just need to say that again. So there was only it was only useful to be asked the same things, and everybody that was in there had seen the movie and liked it, so we weren't asked anything necessarily out of pocket. Or my fear going in was that they hadn't seen the movie and that the questions would be too vague,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
like not related enough to the movie itself.
Right. This might be an edit point, I'm not sure. Are you able to say what the next movie is yet, or is that
The next
still
movie
kind of
I'm
under
in?
wraps? Yes.
It's out there. I mean, it's on IMDb.
Okay.
I can't talk about where. I don't.
I know you can't talk about specifics, but I didn't know if
can't-
you could at least say the title.
I don't know where it's first going to appear. The title listed on IMDb, and it's out there on IMDb, so it's not a secret, but the title is called The Johnny Ryan Movie on IMDb. The Johnny Ryan movie may or may not be a code name for one of Johnny Ryan's comic books. And if you look at Johnny Ryan's comics and you find one with a title that you find particularly shocking and think to yourself, there's no way that would ever appear on a movie theater marquee, that's probably the title of the movie. But right now it is on IMDb listed as the Johnny Ryan movie. It is a horror comedy starring Robert Longstreet and Steve Little, and I know Macon Blair, who's a kind of a popular character actor, is in it, and myself. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you
There you are. There you are, right on in the cast of this movie on IMDb. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. There you go.
It was interesting I did not work with. I kind of didn't get to work with the principal actors really, which were Robert Longstreet and Steve Little. Steve Little was there the day he was on set during my scene. The way that my scene is set up is we interact, but we don't interact on camera at the same time. So our stuff was shot separately. So like I was sitting resting while he was doing his stuff, and he was sitting resting while I was doing my stuff. I will say that Steve Little was devouring Chainsaw Man manga, which I would not have pegged him for like a manga fan. And I did definitively have the question answered as to whether or not he was intelligent, because he so often plays idiots, like on Eastbound and Down, and Cataclysm, which is actually from the same director. I wasn't sure what Steve Little was like, but it's like, oh no, he's a completely capable, intelligent human being. He does a really, really good job at playing dummies.
That's good.
The State Select is made possible through the support and funding of viewers like you. Here are our wonderful patrons.
Before we get much further, Justin, I think it's a good time to thank our patrons, because I done fucked up and I forgot that last episode was like the first episode of the month, and I should have done like the
full one.
But because we
yeah.
did like pre-canned,
Well, that's
I
fair.
forgot.
Yeah.
So we appreciate all of our lovely patrons, and usually the first episode of the month, we like to thank everybody, starting with our executive producer tier. We have Addy XD,
We have Big Baker.
we have Bill Tucker of A Gamer Looks at 40,
We have Bookie.
we have Casey Curran,
We have David Portnov.
we have Dennis Robertson,
We have Dr. Delicious.
we have Eric Peacock of the Soundtracker podcast,
We have X-Rian.
we have Game Johnson of Retrofits,
We have Matt Jorgensen.
we have Philip PK Becker,
We have Raymond Crum.
we have 60 wondering who decided how many teeth are in a human mouth.
People who can count.
It was the Lord God on high. 60.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that.
We have Stephen Lobo.
And at the associate producers tier, we have Daft Man.
We have John Gholson, who's here. Hi.
Yes. We have Weston of Big Nerd Gaming.
We have on the key grip tier, Thierend.
And last but certainly not least, at the free tier, we have Jake Smith.
We have Lazy Bokes.
We have Aristocratical Chic.
I wanted to read the rest of that Julian has in parentheses, which made me laugh. We have Joshua Moncrief.
We have Reese Duff. Thank you, everybody, for supporting the show. We lost a couple people, but that's okay.
That's fine.
I don't know how Patreon works. I saw that like we lost a couple people because like payment was declined.
Oh.
But I'm wondering if like I've got something messed up where they're still just like getting all the stuff, so they might be getting the stuff free. I'm not sure.
Well, good for them. If you can hustle the system, God bless.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it's fine. I would rather you hustle a bigger podcast because small podcasts actually need it.
Hustle all of it. Hustle hard. Go hard or go home, I say.
Sure.
Get everybody. Fuck them. Fuck us. That's great. That's what I say. That's make that shirt.
Well, speaking of going big and also going cinematic, I have, since the last time that we actually sat down to record, I have played a decent chunk of Death Stranding 2 on the beach.
How's that going?
Well, it's going great, but I haven't been able to play it for almost 2 weeks now, which I feel that like I've probably already, I feel that in that time frame I've probably already kind of lost a lot of the magic to it, and I'll get into that. So God damn it. I've got a lot to say about this game, and I want to get like the negative out first.
Okay.
Which is that this is 100% a Mass Effect 2 situation for me.
You've said that. Yeah.
Yeah. Where it is clearly a better game overall. Like it is better made. It has better quality of life stuff. It's got a lot of improvements to the previous game that were needed.
Yeah.
But it also it removes all of the friction that Death Stranding had in the gameplay experience.
Okay.
And I've on the old show, like, I remember like back when the game was new and I was telling you like, man, I can't stop playing this game. I don't know if I can recommend it to anybody.
Right.
Because it's got a lot of shit in it.
Right.
And then when it came down to Game of the Year, I was like, man, this is my game of the year.
Yeah.
But I can't recommend it to anybody because it's got a lot of shit in it.
Yeah.
But I remember when we were talking about Game of the Generation, and I was like, God damn, it's my Game of the Generation too.
Right.
And I remember specifically saying that it made me feel like that Barry Manilow song, I Made It Through the Rain, because like for people who made it all the way through that game, it's like I kind of have this instant feeling of kinship, because it's like we suffered through a lot of shit that was put there by design to make it feel like we suffered through that shit to get out on the other side and connect the country. And there was something very special about that.
Right, sure.
And I have so many stories about, those feelings of limping across the finish line to a delivery in certain places. And, there's parts of it where when I think about going back to replay the first game, I'm like, oh, that mountain part, man.
The mountains, that immediately turns me off too. I've thought about it a few times, and I'm just like, but there's certain parts of it that I just remembered just hating. And I don't want to do it again.
And I do feel that like a lot of that was, now we have confirmation that was by design. Like he wanted people to feel like they'd gone through the ringer.
It's a very Yoko Taro game design trick of make you suffer through it and almost make you hate it, but in the end it's going to feel like it's worth it, or is it? I don't know. It's a whole thing.
And I don't have any stories like that in the like almost 20 hours that I've played Death Stranding 2, because it is so effortless. Like a perfect example in the prologue. Because they give you your first vehicle in like your first like hour and a half of the game.
Oh wow, yeah.
Like they're, and I guess on one hand I kind of get it. They don't they kind of Metroid you because you're connecting a new part of the world.
Sure, you
don't have the same bandwidth like in lore to have the same stuff that you ended the previous game with.
Sure,
and it makes sense in the game, but from a design standpoint, it's almost like Kojima's like, but I know that you want that stuff earlier, so I'm going to give you that stuff earlier, and I appreciate that. But I think some of the stuff is way too early. Like, I built my first vehicle, and I now have it in my head. It's like I'm going to take this vehicle to the end of this game. Like I'm taking care of it. I'm like stowing it in the garage when I don't like. I'll store it in the garage and then go scout on foot. And once I know where I'm going, then I'll go back for it. And then I'm just like zooming around, making deliveries. Like nobody's. It's like so. It's cake. And so, but in the prologue, like not long after you have built this vehicle, it's called a trike.
Okay.
You're heading back after you've done, the initial goal of the prologue.
Sure.
And these weird enemies pop up. And it's like a whole thing is a cutscene with them showing up. And it's like, oh shit, like you're gonna have to sneak through here and blah blah blah. And I was like, I'm on this trike. I'm just gonna gun it. And I gunned it, and I never even ran afoul of it. They never even took a shot at me. Like I think I did get like the alert sound effect that someone saw me.
Sure.
And then the music picked up like it does like Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
But it didn't matter. I like nothing happened. Like I just drove right on through.
Yeah.
Didn't have to think about it because I already had the method to just like speed past them.
Interesting.
And that is so much of Death Stranding 2.
Yeah, that's kind of wild actually. Because Death Stranding 1 did a pretty good job of like you would get to certain points and it would be like, all right, now you're kind of fucked. So you're gonna have to walk through this real slowly. Like I always remember, like I think it's in like toward the beginning of the game. There's like some part where you walk down some like forest path, and it's like the only route to this one specific thing, and you have to go there for storyline reasons. And like
I remember exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know exactly what I mean. Yeah, and you're going down, and you're like, fuck, this sucks. Like the entire time you're just like, this sucks, but you can't do anything about it. Like. There's probably a way to skip that if you had some kind of stuff, but you don't have the stuff yet.
Right, and you don't get it for a long time.
Right.
And that area that you're talking about, I remember there's also like a very sheer cliff face
Yes.
like out off to the west that is basically the only way to get to the next area of the map.
Yeah.
And it's like you got to load up on ladders and climbing hooks, and you got to go the long way round.
Right.
And the environment is built in a way to make you go the long way round.
Yeah.
And the environments so far here are like, no, it's fine, man. Like, just like I've never fallen. Like, I've lost balance a couple times, but I've never like actually
like ate it,
tipped over. Like, I've never lost my gear in a river, because I mean, part of that is also because I know how to play the game and everything, and you know, I'm more prepared. But also, there's not really a lot of reason to, because it just feels like they made it to be as smooth as possible, which feels antithetical to what that game is supposed to be. And Kojima said, you know, in an interview that he was concerned because like in testing, people were like loving it and like not having any trouble with it, and so he did go back and kind of make parts of it harder. But it's like, maybe that's later on in the game, because so far like I have not struggled at all. Like even like the BT stuff, which thankfully there's so far way less of it, because that was one of my issues. I didn't like the outdoor BT stuff. I was not
a big fan of that. And the part I'm talking about, that was the big thing, was you were avoiding BTs, and it was like in this spot where you had to go through it, and like it was tough. Like you were gonna probably run into one, and it was just gonna fuck you over.
And this is something that was in the original game, but I didn't understand when I played it the first time around. It wasn't until I played the director's cut where I actually understood that you could do this. Yeah. But the humanoid BTs that are just like kind of on patrol, the ones that if they see you, they'll grab you and pull you into the tar, then you have to fight a bigger BT. Yeah. You can take them out on the field. With your blood grenades. And I didn't understand that the first time with back in 2019. Right. And so now it's like, I'm just going to chuck some blood grenades at this thing until it dies. Yeah. That's fine. And also now there's a bigger premium on using weapons, like using guns. Like the last game, it was mostly the grenades, because the guns that you had were lethal and you didn't want to kill anybody because it would cause a void out if you didn't dispose of the body.
Was very interesting, you know. Yeah.
But now, like, all the guns are non-lethal, and also the bullets work on BTs. Like you get a gun like very quickly that works on BTs. So it's like if you it takes about like I think 4 grenades to take out one of these patrollers. Yeah. So if you've only got 3 on you and you still need like to take a little more damage, just pull out your machine gun and finish it off. It's fine.
Why not?
Yeah, like no problem whatsoever.
Interesting. Yeah.
Having said that, though, I think that's everything. Is it?
You were starting with the negatives, so if you
right. Yeah. And then one last thing is, because I'm at that part now where it's kind of in a similar space as in the first game, where it's like, oh, we building roads now. Like we're gonna sit here a while and build roads. Right. But the material requirement for the roads is so low.
Oh man, yeah.
And like the instant that like I get onto the instant that I connect an area, it's like everything's already built. Because that's the other thing, is that I can tell there's a lot more people playing the game than the first time around. But also because gamers are the way gamers are, they're like, well, we gotta like be efficient, and we need to like do all this stuff. And it's like everything that you see is fully upgraded, because if the player who built it didn't automatically do it, then another player came around like immediately and upgraded it all the way. Sure. And the roads, because I remember like the material requirements were like, in the there was like over 1,000 of one material that you would need.
Oh, it was wild. I remember I was like, I'm not even gonna fucking bother with that.
Yeah. It's like in the hundreds now. And I remember like I saw a new road paver, and I was like, oh, that one only needs like this much of this and this much of that. Okay, I'll let me finish this delivery and I'll come back. But then like just as I passed it, there was just like a couple canisters of both of the materials that I needed just sitting there. That's another thing that I've noticed in this game. Yeah. Is it tends to just pop up with the stuff that you need way more often. Okay. And I was like, fuck it. And I just like loaded it up, took it right back, about 50 feet behind me, finished the road. And I was like, that was not satisfying at all because I didn't have to try. Like it was just it's done for me. And so much of it has been done for me. And like I said, like I've now been away from it for 2 weeks. So it's like, well, surely now like everything is fully upgraded.
Probably.
Don't have to worry about it. But it's such a much more confident game. I can feel Kojima has really kind of come into his own on that, splitting the difference between what he wants you to see and still letting you play the game. Like there's so many like amazing parts where it's like you're trucking along on foot or whatever, or in your vehicle, and like he pulls the camera like way out, and it's like this really amazing cinematic thing where you're still fully in control. And I don't recall the first game doing that.
Not to my memory, no.
And like then the music swells. Like
they did a lot of the music stuff.
It did a lot of the music, but like specifically the camera work is like there's something very confident about it, and it is incredibly gorgeous. And I love there's like weather is a big thing in this game.
Sure.
Where like there's earthquakes that you have to worry about. There's obviously the time fall, but now the time fall will actually raise and lower the water reserves in areas. So like like little rivers will turn into, or little streams will turn into rivers and then turn into flooded areas that will destroy things. And like it's kind of neat when you'll see, I saw this on Blue Sky actually, someone was like, this is the dumbest thing I've seen someone build, because it was just like 2 ladders over this like bare like completely barren area. And I was like, no, that's because it was probably like flooded when that player went through, and then all the water receded.
Right.
Like it's really cool. There's also a day-night cycle now, and so that
that's cool. Yeah,
that factors into visibility, like also the stealth, because like if you're rolling up on a bandit camp and you have your flashlight on, they're going to see that from much further away. They're much. It's not so much like playing with vision cones like you normally do in a stealth game. If you can see them, they can see you.
Sure.
Which is pretty interesting. But also it's kind of a double-edged sword, because like the shooting is like so good in this game. It's so much better than the last one. Well, I guess I don't really know because I didn't shoot. Well, no, that's not true. I would use the bolo gun in the last game because that one was non-lethal.
Sure.
But now that you have like the rubber bullets and everything, it's like I'm kind of not even worrying about stealth. Like I'll try to take out a couple guys if I can, but then at a certain point, it's like I'm just going to open fire on all these guys because it feels really good to do. It does this really awesome slow-mo thing with like this awesome sound effect when you take out a guy, like either with a headshot or if just you've done enough damage to knock him out.
Sure.
And it's like, and it like slows the whole game down, which gives you just enough time to like aim your like line up your next headshot.
Right.
It feels awesome, and it's like it's got me very excited for that Pheasant game that he's working on for Sony, which is like a full-on stealth action game. But this game also, it definitely feels more in that vein than Death Stranding 1 did. Story-wise, you'll be surprised to hear this, but it kind of really jumps in. Like you have control of Sam almost immediately.
Yeah.
There's very little preamble, and so far there's actually been surprisingly little story and exposition.
Interesting. Yeah. That's surprising, especially given a lot of the previews that I watched for it, because it just was pure that. I was like, okay, we're in for some shit, basically. Yeah.
And I haven't seen a lot of that yet.
Yeah.
But so far my biggest concern, Sam still isn't where I want him to be as a character. There's improvements. So you actually get like dialogue to choose from when you talk to people. Well, when you go to deliver to somebody, and like, how it used to be where it was just like, okay, this guy's just like not saying a word, and these people are just like talking at him, and it's very weird. They still talk at you, but now with certain people, you actually have like a conversation tree that you can go through.
Yeah,
And
sure.
he doesn't voice the lines, but at least you're aware that he said them. And
Yeah,
so
that's
it
fine.
feels like there's an actual interaction
Right.
with these people, which was definitely woefully missing from the first game.
Yeah.
But there's still like, so I got very excited when you get Dollman, the little guy
Yeah, yeah.
trapped in the puppet, because I was like, oh, this is the perfect way for there to be a dialogue going on as you're traveling.
Right.
And like the first time that you plug into the BB and you get like a flashback, Dollman sees it too, and he's like, whoa, what was that? And then Sam, there's a little conversation. I was like, oh, here we go. This might actually fix like a lot of my problems with Sam as a character. And
Right.
but it's not that very often.
Oh.
And there's certain things that happen where I'm like, Sam, why aren't you asking the question? Why aren't you asking questions? Like, why are you just sitting there and like letting this happen and not saying anything? Why are you like this, Sam? And I don't know.
That was always a really awkward part of the first game. It was a lot of that. A lot of it in the first game almost felt like, well, we have Norman Reedus, but we could only pay him for so much time. So
yeah, and this time
Right
around,
around
I
it.
feel that like that. I feel that they probably, because now he knew kind of what the thing was, right? He'd
Right.
worked with Kojima before, so I kind of expected it to be more in depth, and at least so far it has not been. So we'll see how I feel about that when all's said and done. I do also feel that it's very interesting that, Kojima loves working with all of these actors and blah, blah, blah. But so far, the best part of the game, performance-wise, is the person who is a, full-time voice actor in Troy
Right.
Baker. I've only seen him in one scene, but I was like, God damn.
Yeah.
Like just a tour de force.
Yeah. I do have to say this though. Visually, some of the most real looking shit I've seen in a while, like especially
It is beautiful.
it's insane. There was somebody posted something on Reddit and it was like the photo mode, and they took I think they just took a picture of like the three main actresses, like Leah Seydoux and it was from the game. It was actual thing from the game, and they did this pose. I was like, it took me like a little while to realize, oh, that's the game.
Yeah.
That's not them just posing. That's the fucking game. Like, it took me a little bit longer than I like to admit. Like, I was like, whoa, that game looks good. Like, holy shit.
Yeah. And I think it's a very smartly made game, because I think they took a page from RGG Studios, because, like the UI is almost identical to the first game.
Sure.
A lot of the sound effects are the same from the first game. A lot of animations are there, because like you already did them. You already did the mocap. Why not? Sam still says like a lot of the same lines. I mean, he obviously says new things as well, but it's like they have taken as much as they could from Death Stranding 1 in order to then focus on the things they wanted to in Death Stranding 2. Because I always felt, a lot of people were like, oh, Death Stranding 1 was like this massive AAA thing. And I don't know if that's necessarily true.
Yeah.
I always got the feeling that it was a much lower budget game than you would think. Like when you think about what the game is, right? It's like a lot of like open, empty areas. There's not a lot of interaction between characters, right?
Right.
It's a very economical game where it needs to be
Sure.
to focus on the things that make it look more expensive. And it's the same thing here, just more. So that's very cool. And goddamn, that delivery loop, there's something about it, man. It's a game where I'll start it up, and that's part of the reason why I haven't played it. Like, I was out of town last week, and then this week, I've been tired, and then also like I end every shift wanting to cry / break my monitor, so I'm not really in a good mood for playing stuff. But once I sink into it, I'm like in it, and like it's just like, I found this thing for Gen Hoshino. I got to go give this to him, and then on the way over there, I found this thing for the lone survivor. Let me go give that to him. And also, like, this game, I think is much better about the more that you deliver and the more you get their stars up. There's like a tangible, useful thing that everybody has for each of those ranks. So it actually makes sense to take the time to do the extra deliveries and stuff like that. and they have more of like a little story for each of the characters.
Yeah, that was the thing that was kind of missing some of the times, because I remember there at certain points in that game I just was like, I don't know if I care enough to just keep doing these deliveries. I know some of them pay off and they're really cool, but I don't know if I have the patience to sit through that shit. And
Right.
like, and they like, or it would take so long to progress anything with them that I was just like, I don't know if it's worth it. So I never did it. There was a couple that I seen that I thought were really cool, but yeah, it was a little few and far between. So them having their own little stories every time you go there, that sounds a little bit better than the previous game for sure.
Yeah. The only other little nitpick, and it's kind of the same as the last game, is I fought 2 of the bosses now, and it's a similar thing where it's like, okay, there's tar everywhere, which makes mobility really difficult, but
Yeah.
now they also want you to dodge, but those 2 things don't work together very
That's
well.
kind of weird. Yeah.
Yeah, and like the first boss has an instant kill move where
good. That's
if you
always
get
fun.
too close to him, he'll just eat you. And I died on him like 3 times.
Yeah.
And I was like, that doesn't feel great. And this is the year for this, because South of Midnight had this too in a different way. But like, if you die on a boss, you can just pick an option that says pretend that I won, and then just continue with the story. And I don't know what that says about video games, where we're at this point where it's like, let's just pretend that the gameplay part doesn't exist. And you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how I feel about that. Like,
I don't know.
It's great for accessibility purposes, but on the other hand, it's like, I like it. I prefer where it's on the back end, where the game is just kind of adjusting itself.
Yeah, where it's
to your skill.
Yeah, that would be that'd be a little bit better, but yeah.
Yeah.
At
but
the same
it's there
time,
for somebody.
Yeah, it's there for somebody, and at the same time, like I could see like a John Gholson who just talked about something like that, being like, you know what? Yeah, fuck this thing. I don't want to fight it anymore. I just want to know what's gonna happen next.
Yeah,
I could totally see being like, fuck this thing. I don't care.
Yeah. And I will say the second boss was like a much cooler boss fight that I really enjoyed. So, we'll see where it goes from there.
Are there like a lot more boss fights than there were in the first one? Because the first one I only remember like the cliff fights and like boss wise anyway. There was a couple of bigger VTs, but like I don't remember like there being a lot of like bosses per se.
Yeah, and I mean definitely, because like, I'm only in like the 3rd chapter, and I've already fought 2 bosses. So
okay, interesting.
I think the game is poised to throw more at me.
It's trying to do a lot of that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. It is definitely a more like gameplay first, or like, sorry, it is a more combat first game.
Yeah.
Than the first game was, and I'll have to wait until I finish the game to see how I ultimately feel about that. Because that is also the core concept of the story is, this time around I'm using the stick instead of the rope, right? Like that.
Yeah.
They literally say it in dialogue.
Yeah.
And it's also the fucking like drawbridge like slogan is both stick and rope to unite the world, or something like that.
Why
like
not?
It's very Kojima it's a Kojima game, right? At the end of the day,
very much is. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're either on board for that or you're not. I'm very much on board. And I am enjoying it, but not for the reasons that I enjoyed the first game. It's missing that there was something about that struggle that was like the spice to that game. And so this one is like, but what if we, what if we prepared this like a white person and just didn't flavor the food? And it's like, okay,
it's the Britain of video games.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go that far, but
okay,
but it's
well,
yeah,
is that a bridge too far, Julian? I'm sorry.
I don't know. I mean, again, I'm not done, right? I need to see where I'm at the end, but that's where I'm at with that.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to go? That's all I've got game wise.
Okay. Well, is there any way we could take a break and come back and then maybe figure it out from there, or is that
I suppose
a bridge too far? Okay.
No, we can do that.
Okay. I don't want to step on any toes, Julian.
No, it's fine.
You sure?
No, yeah, it's okay. I'm just gonna act like really passive aggressive about it.
I know
just to make you like even more self conscious.
that's
about
fine. That's fine. I deserve that.
All right, we'll take a break. All right, and we're back. Justin, what? Yeah, we'll go to you next.
You go to me next.
Yes.
Okay.
What have you been up to? We had a week off.
We had a week off. It was
and you were actually, I know you were off, which was nice.
off for that week. Yes, I spent it most of the time away from where I'm at now, which was nice. It was the week of the 4th of July. I hosted a 4th of July cookout. That was the thing I did. I can't believe I did that, but I did. It was very small, which was nice. It was the only cookout I think I've ever enjoyed in my entire life because most of them are miserable. But this one was pretty fun.
What'd you have?
Just hamburgers and hot dogs. That's all I did, and they were good. They
The
turned
two
out very
genders.
good. Yeah, exactly, exactly. I did.
My
we did-
pronouns are hamburger and hot dog.
as God intended, really,
Yes.
as God intended.
Create
so-
one of those podcasts now.
Yeah, apparently we are. Apparently we are. I played party games during that, which were video games. What did we try? We tried out the video game version of Family Feud, which is not super great, but it's fine. Better than I probably thought it would be. I also tried out, and this is one of my most favorite things that I've done in a while. There's a video game you can buy that is called Rich Man. There apparently are 11 of them. So this was Rich Man 11. Yeah, it's a board game. It's basically just Monopoly, but with stocks and very confusing rules and terrible translation. It's available on the PlayStation 5 for you to buy right now.
It looks really bad.
Uh-huh. Oh, it's bad.
It looks
it's bad.
suffer select bad.
Oh no, I don't know about that. I don't know about that, John. The beautiful thing about Rich Man 11 is playing it with a group of people who also have no fucking idea what's going on the entire time. And so you're just taking turns and hoping for the best. Are you winning? No one knows. It was fantastic.
Sounds like my life.
Yeah, basically, yeah. There's it's like Monopoly, but there's a stock market, and slowly it basically took. So the Rich Man 11 Chronicle started before this cookout actually, and then we finished it that night. And while we did that, my friend Lonnie went and bought Rich Man 11 and started playing on his own as research. So he came back knowing what was going on a little bit, but not that much because it's impossible to really penetrate the game. Honestly, it's insane. We had a great time.
Can I just read this description of the game on Wiki to just kind of like...
Oh, please do.
I think I went blind here.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
In Rich Man Fight, players need to choose different characters and prepare 8 function cards in repeat deck before starting a game. After the game start, players need to use a dice to control their chosen character in the map and make the opponents bankrupt through effects of function cards, construct the special property, and release character abilities. Also, players can earn cards or trigger effects in different special blocks on a map.
Yeah.
That sounds both simple and complicated. It's like,
yeah,
I'm all about constructing the special property, though.
Oh yeah, you got to construct this special property. No, I did figure out what that means eventually. There's like big spots on the map that you can buy. It's like I said, it's essentially Monopoly, but with just way more shit going on. Monopoly on steroids. And like you can make these special buildings that give you like kind of like ability, like stuff you can use each turn. But there's constantly shit going on that you don't understand, and you don't know if it's good or bad half the time. Sometimes it's good. Go ahead.
Julian, you might fancy yourself a bit of a gaming historian, right?
Uh-huh.
This
I dabble.
series has been around since 1989.
I was waiting
Have
for
you
somebody to
ever
discover
heard
that.
about this game before this
No,
conversation
when
right
Justin
now?
said there were 11 of them, I just assumed that it was like there were 11 of them on Steam that came out over the last like 3
No.
years.
89, 93, 96, 98, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2002, and 2006, 2 in 2012, 2016, 2018, 2019, 2022.
Wait, I need formats and country of origin.
Yeah.
I don't
I
have that
wanna say
information
it-
at my disposal.
I was gonna say, I want to say maybe it started as an actual board game somehow. Because that's basically what it is. It's a board game essentially, where you have cards and shit that you can use. And like I said, it's just Monopoly on steroids. But like sometimes during a turn, just random shit will happen, and you're like, "What does that even mean? I don't know what that means." Which is the fun of the game to me. Because it'll just all of a sudden be like West Side Market closed, and you're like, I don't, okay, is that good or bad? I don't even know. You'll like land on spots where like there's just gods in the game or something like that, and then they will take over your character. And sometimes you want that, and sometimes you don't want that. And whether you want it or don't want it is entirely random, and you have no fucking idea. Also, if somebody we learned if somebody loses, they stay on the board, and if you randomly land on their character, they will just take a bunch of money from you. And I ended up losing because Lonnie got knocked out, and I landed on him, and then it took all the rest of the money that I had, and I was out too, just instantly. How that happened, I don't know. It's
Okay.
yeah,
I feel that that's the way that society should work.
yeah,
I feel that if Elon Musk runs afoul of someone who lost like their home,
yeah,
then they should get his money.
sure. That would be good actually.
Yeah.
That would be pretty good. The game is unhinged and fantastic for that reason. Just go get a group of like 4 people and just go into Rich Man 11 blind. Don't look anything up. Just do it. Just fucking do it.
I mean, I feel that like really it lost a lot of what was great about Rich Man 10. So I'll probably stick with that.
You know, that's fair, but you know, I don't know. I'm starting to contemplate buying 10 just to see what it was like. But yeah, that was one of my favorite bits, that because it's just two people. It's just me and Lonnie just laughing our asses off the entire time because all the dialogue is just so poorly translated that it's amazing.
Mhm.
And then another 2 people like, why are we doing this? Like, but taking the turns anyway, because the turns take like 2 seconds. It's funny, it's not technically 4 players. Like you can't like pass the controller around, but you can randomly rig it to where you can do it that way. It's wild. Like the game is poorly made as hell, but it's amazing for that reason. Oh, I love Rich Man 11, and I actually can't wait to play it again, probably tomorrow.
You wait long
because-
enough, 12 will be out.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm eagerly anticipating that, to be fair. Other things I did, I played through the Quarry. That was pretty fun. I basically just let Kim make all the decisions for me, and she was fully in control, except for the times where I couldn't keep my button finger from reacting to stuff, and then I was just like, well, we just shot that guy. There's nothing we can do about it. I'm sorry.
I liked it more than Until Dawn, as far as the Until Dawn kind of has like a very kitchen sink approach to horror.
Mhm.
There's like a lot of horror kind of tropes in the soup, in the stew.
Yeah.
And I thought Corey's stew was a more unified flavor. Because
Right.
Quarry also has a lot of different flavors of horror in the soup,
It does.
and it just felt more cohesive. I like Until Dawn. It's not a knock on Until Dawn. It was just
Mhm.
if I have any big criticism, it is that sort of like everything in the kitchen sink approach, and
Right.
I just thought that gelled more in the Quarry.
Yeah.
I still want them to make a game that delivers on the promise of the beginning of Until Dawn, where the psychologist is asking you about, what
Yes.
scares you. Because I think when we were talking about the movie, Justin, I got the impression in that part of the game that it was going to tailor like the horror
right.
to what triggered me. And there's a couple little nods to that. But
Yeah.
I thought it would have been really cool if it's like, if you say that like slashers are what bother you, then the premise of the game then becomes a slasher
Right.
game instead of, throwing a bunch of that stuff at you. But at the end of the day, it's always going to be this thing.
It's always going to be this thing. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was good. I'd watched it on YouTube before, so I kind of knew what I was getting into, but I couldn't. It had been so long ago that it came out that I basically kind of forgot like how to do anything or what I needed to do. So that was kind of fun. The things I didn't really care for, and I think it's just it's very basic because most of the like the tension comes from like, are you gonna pass this quick time event, which most of them for me were like pretty easy. I was just like, okay, it's just down and then up over and press this thing now. Okay, great. There's also like the breathing mini game, which I know in Until Dawn was like you had to hold the controller still or whatever.
That was pretty hard to
and it was pretty hard, right?
Yeah, like you could fail that pretty easily.
Yeah, now it's just hold the button and wait for the red on the screen to go away. And I feel like there has to be a happy medium somewhere in there, because I feel like just holding the button was like really easy to do. Like it was just like, okay, I just hold this until the screen is normal again, and then I pass this. Okay, got it. There wasn't any real like tension of like, oh, you can definitely do it at the wrong moment or whatever or something like that. I don't know. It felt almost too easy.
Real quick, only because that reminded me, one thing I wanted to really applaud Death Stranding 2 for, which I expected it to be this way. The way that they use the DualSense is incredible.
Right.
Like it's kind of up there with Astrobot in the sense of like you feel like you're on different terrain when you're on different terrain. It's really cool.
Sure. Also in that game, there are times where it'll kind of come back from a cutscene, and then it'll just, or like it does like the Resident Evil style like camera switches every now and then, and it has 3D controls, and like sometimes it'll just like pop into a weird view and you're just like walking like sideways or some shit, and you're like, okay, that was really awkward and weird. Like it's never in a moment where it's like imperative or you're running from something, so it's not a big deal, but it's just kind of annoying every now and then.
That's why tank controls are good for that.
Tank controls are good for that, but everybody would complain. And like I said, at the same time, there's no action, so it's not like the biggest deal in the world. Just like there was occasions where I was just like, all right, that was a little annoying. Not gonna lie. But overall, we had a good time with it. I liked it more than I thought I would. Yeah, that's pretty much the Quarry. If you haven't played it yet, try it out. It's
I still need to get to it. I'm way behind on their games because I've only played 2 of the Dark Pictures games. And I want to play all those, and then the Quarry, and they've got the new one coming out, the sci-fi one this fall.
Right. Yes, I do want to. Yeah, I'm actually kind of looking forward to that now.
I played through Man of Medan, whatever it's called. I've started Little Hope a couple times and never finished it. And then I played, which is the one that's about, there's a game about H.H. Holmes. It's like a take on H.H. Holmes.
I don't even know who that is.
That's the first serial killer. It's the guy that built that weird house. He had a hotel.
Oh, and Devil Inside or something.
Devil in Me.
Like
The Devil
in Me or something.
The Devil in Me is the first one that I've played in couch co-op with my goddaughter, who at the time I think was 13.
Yeah.
And we played The Devil in Me, passing the controller back and forth. And that was a lot of fun because she's a huge horror fan. And her video games she plays a lot of rhythm based stuff, and she plays Genshin. Um, but she hasn't played like a lot of survival horror and things like that. So it was cool to like play her first horror game. Well, she plays the Freddy games, like
Sure.
the Five Nights at Freddy's games.
Yeah.
But it was cool to, and those are survival horror. But it was cool to play like a story based game and like have to make snap decisions and things like that. And, you know,
Right, right.
And I would stay out of her way. Like she would make decisions for the characters when she had the controller, and I would, you know, make decisions on mine. And then we started playing the one after that, which is the one that it's like the people on the dig. They're like military people on the dig, and they fall in a hole in the earth, and there's like ancient
that's
vampire demon things down there.
Yes, that's House of Ashes.
Yeah, and we didn't finish that one.
That one I actually kind of like where that one went. It's kind of wild actually. It takes a little while to get where it's going, but once it gets there, it was kind of fun. At least in my opinion.
Yeah,
but it's kind of wild. But yeah,
is that one coming? Is that last one coming out this year? The sci-fi
the
one,
space one. Yeah, it is a 2025 game. Man, I had to look that up.
80/20. Yeah,
That's it.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was.
I think it's October. It's like September, October.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one now.
Those games are unfortunately in a weird place too, where they are difficult day one buys because they either go on sale or get given away. So it's sort of like I don't know how financially successful they are because it just feels like at this point they're so commonly on sale, so cheap, so quickly.
Yeah,
that it's sort of like when they come out, I wait them out every time. Even though I liked Until Dawn, I still I wait them out every single time.
Right.
I'm honestly surprised that they're still around because I know Until Dawn was like a surprise smash hit,
right?
But nothing else, from what I understand, has really been all that successful since. But they've been able to continually release games at a pretty good clip and continue to use like, you know, at least expensive looking techniques to make their games with, you know, Hollywood people, which probably doesn't come cheap, right? Like, so I'm really surprised that they're still kind of cranking those out at the rate that they are.
Yeah.
That reminds me, we didn't talk about this earlier, but you know, the as far as like the acting and the mocap suits and stuff like that. So while we were in New York, there's basically two antagonists in Man Finds Tape. There's me and another guy named Brian. The actor's name is Brian Villalobos. He plays the Stranger. And while we were in New York, they announced the next Destiny 2 DLC, which introduces like a new character named Lodi, who's like apparently looks like he's from like modern day Earth that gets sucked into the world of Destiny somehow. And Brian is voicing Lodi. And like
cool.
Everybody was just like, what in the world? Because we knew he went to Europe. We knew he did a bunch of mocap and like, but he couldn't talk about he just said, oh, it's like a video game project. And we were like, oh, okay, video game project. But I don't think any of us anticipated, like, it wasn't just a video game project. It's that he's the main character of the new DLC for Destiny 2. And all of us were just like, what? I was telling Wendy, because my girlfriend has like a little shrine to Destiny here in the house. She loves Destiny. It's all she plays.
Sure.
And I told her, and I'm just like, she's like, and he lives here, right? I was like, yeah, he lives in Pflugerville. He's like down the road. It's like, It's insane. It was just insane. But yeah, he talked a little bit about how cool it was and what an interesting experience it was to like, you know, put the suit on and be in the room and act with the suit on. And he was like, he said he's seen cutscenes with the characters. It's definitely his voice. If you watch any trailers for the DLC and you hear Lodi speaking, it's Brian's voice. But the motion capture, he said, was interesting because performance-wise, he's like, yeah, there's facial expressions and movements where it's like, I 100% that's myself, but it's not my face. Like, it's not It's not exactly my face, but it is acting with my face. And he said that was kind of surreal. Anyways, it just jogged the memory because you were talking about bringing the actors in and stuff like that. And I was like, oh yeah.
Oh, I'm pumped for the day that you come on here and you're like, yeah, I'm in this video game. And I'm like, fucking A.
Man, I tell you what, a girl I did sketch with, a woman, I should say, she's not a girl, a woman I did sketch with, ended up playing Big Barda in the DC Universe Online, like one of the more recent seasons of DC Universe Online, which is still chugging
Oh, cool.
along. And my mind was blown. But she knew that I would get. She was like, "Oh, I thought you'd get a kick out of it." I didn't just get a kick out of it. I was like hollering. I'm just like, freaking Big Barda, like Mr. Miracle and Big Barda, like my favorite couple of the DCU. I'm just like, you got to play Big Barda? Just what? It was so there are opportunities in Austin. Actually, Julian, I'm probably going to have to go to your place and record because the problem is I'm in a downstairs apartment. I have upstairs neighbors. And there's been times I bought myself like a special shield and equipment and stuff. And I can't, it's too unpredictable up there for me to record my own audio for a demo. So I'm probably going to have to get with you sometime to like create a demo so that I can actually get work like that. Yeah.
And then I can rope you into doing some new announcement stuff for the show because I need new stuff.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, that's the Corey. I played so this is a fun one. Oh well, I finished Cyberpunk. That game's still fun. I had a blast playing it.
It's so good.
Then I immediately started to get it again because I just had fun playing that fucking game.
Did you play through? Was this your first playthrough of Phantom Liberty?
No, this is my second playthrough of Phantom Liberty.
So you played the whole enchilada again?
Yes, I did.
It is, that experience is one of the best games I've ever played. That whole enchilada experience, like that whole deal, is one of the best games I've ever played. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah, I really like it.
Oh, John, did you take a look at that Unreal Tech demo for Witcher 4?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I watched that. Yeah, it looks good. It looks
No, you should have just ended there. It'd have been perfect.
It looks good. It'll only look better with time. Yeah, I watched this. It was impressive. It was all like, it's it'll be interesting to see how it looks. I mean, you're talking about like early stuff, and the game is
right.
what, 3-4 years away? 3
I mean,
years
who
away?
knows? Yeah, there's no
I'm
there's
just
no
going to
telling.
assume if CD Projekt Red announces something, it's going to be like 3 to 5 years. Like 3 is optimistic and 5 is realistic.
Yeah,
and it's going to look even better by the time that it's there. So there was a part of me that was sort of like, yeah, this is really cool. This is really nice. I kind of understand the tech. They get into talk about like how they generate vegetation and stuff like that, how leaves are created. And I'm just like, I nod like I know what the fuck they're talking about. And then, but I'm also like, oh, it's only going to get better. Like it can only improve, right? Like, yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
I think I have, I hope that there are enough of the excellent storytellers still there to see that game through in the manner that it should. And that CD Projekt Red hasn't become, no disrespect to Veilguard, but the new new BioWare, where it's like they become a shadow, and it's like
a shell of themselves.
Yeah, and it's like the games are still playable, they're still enjoyable, but they're not the same as they were. And
no, they did lose a lot of core people that are now working on that. Is a Daywalker, that really cool looking that vampire RPG.
They lost some of that. I know that Thaumaturge had Witcher people on it as well. So like, my hope is that I think the last time I was on, they just made the announcement, maybe because I think we talked about Siri. We might have,
something
or
like
maybe
that.
I just complained to Julian about it. But the Siri stuff to me is like, Siri, that's fine. I don't have a problem with Siri being the lead. And in fact, like, that's the thing that I really, one of the things that I found really interesting about Witcher 3 was the by affording, we are trained by video games. I think I've talked about this on the show before, but just for people who haven't heard it, we're trained by video games to behave a certain way when it comes to the protection of other characters. And one of the things that's extremely underrated about Witcher 3 is that you get the good ending when you afford Ciri her own independence, meaning
Yes.
you don't protect her. You do let her make her own decisions. You do support the decisions that she makes. And those are the things that give you the quote unquote good ending or best ending versus stepping in and being like, I got this, Ciri, or like protecting her in certain battles and stuff like that. It's like all of the things that games have trained you to do. And it's like the game is teaching you, like, no, let her have her own autonomy, and you are rewarded for letting this character have her own autonomy. I mean, I don't have a problem with her being the main character. You know, I didn't know who Geralt was before I played Witcher 3, so I still liked the game. And so as I guess there are people that like really, really love Geralt, but I can always go back and play Witcher 3 again. There are books I still haven't read. I think there's a whole season of a TV show too I still haven't watched at this point.
Right.
So I'm not been out of shape about the game having a female lead, and that just seems like such a knee-jerk response from a certain subset of video game fandom nowadays anyways.
Yeah, I love the idea of passing the torch to new generations in video games. I think that's a thing that people don't do enough. Like, you know, I
wholeheartedly agree. Yeah.
I'm at this point I've probably exhausted the complaints about Kratos still being in the God of War games. And I'm getting there with Kiryu in Like a Dragon, where it's like, can we just go ahead and move along and let's let Ichiban be the guy?
Right.
Can we please do that?
Something. Yeah. But yeah. Cyberpunk was really fun. It was a fun game again.
Julian, you've played it, right? All the Phantom Pain. You worked through Phantom Pain.
Yeah, I played the whole thing.
Okay.
I've only done it the one time, but I got a lot of flack last game of the year for pushing for Phantom Pain as one of the best games of the year.
Well, your key thing is it's a Phantom Liberty, not Phantom Pain. Phantom Pain is Metal Gear Solid 5.
Oh, you're right. Phantom Pain is a piece of trash.
Just want to, that's your main mistake,
Yeah.
It's really good. There are certain games, Justin, I don't know, or and Julian. Justin, you seem to replay stuff more than Julian does. Certainly,
every now and then,
certainly replace it every now and then. Can we talk?
It depends on the game.
Can we talk
Depends on the game.
Oh, yeah.
Depends on the game.
There's something about like when a game is really good, a narrative game, and you return to it, and sometimes you're like, oh, I remember this. This is cool. Oh yeah, you go, you do this, and you're like, you're kind of playing through it, but it's like it's just a hair above going through the motions. Like it has a little bit of a nostalgia pull where you're like, oh yeah, this was fun, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm making other decisions just to see what happens when I make the other decisions. Then there's other games where when you start them, even if they're narrative heavy, you're like back in it. And that's why I have that weird relationship with Fallout 4, where I always go back to Fallout 4 because I always get sucked back into Fallout 4 every single time. And last time I played Cyberpunk was that way, which was the third time that I'd played it, but the second time I'd played it all the way through. So I played it when it first came out, and I played it again. I only played it like halfway through. Then I played it again and beat it. Then I got Phantom Liberty, played through that.
Yeah.
But like playing through Phantom Liberty was one of those where I'm like, I've done all this before. I've talked to these people before. I've done these missions before. And yet I am in it. Like I am in it the same way I was the first time I played it. And
I tend to pick up on a lot more stuff. This is my third time playing through it all the way. And I pick up on a lot more little things. The like now, especially like, and even like conspiracy theory stuff that happens in that game with like Mr. Blue Eyes and all that shit, and who is this guy and stuff like that, because I'll end up watching like YouTube videos, or sometimes the one I found interesting recently was like, hey, did you know that if you can fuck up bad enough and these characters will die? And I was like, oh, I didn't know that. There's little subtle things. There's spoilers for the game, I guess. There's a part where you let Johnny Silverhand take over your body, and he goes on this like wild like bender to find this guy. And you actually, if you spare the guy that he's trying to find to get like basically Johnny Silverhand's car, is the reward for it. If you spare that guy, that girl ends up getting killed, and the only way you can find out is if you go to like where the like the memorial places and actually find her grave. And I was like, that's kind of awesome that that's a thing that you could do, because it makes sense. Because yeah, okay, this guy's gonna find out how they tracked him down and all this shit.
I think about that freaking. That's the kind of level, the attention to detail where, like, I think about the freaking mission where you're going to go out with Rogue, and you're gonna tear some shit up, and there's the bartender, and the bartender, I think I think it's Rogue that you're talking to. I don't think it's the bartender, but there's one animation that happens one time of the character at the bar dipping underneath the counter instead of lifting the counter up. And I'm like, every other game, the animation cycle would have been that the counter lifts and the character just walks straight through where the lift was. And this one moment in Cyberpunk has the character put her arm up on the counter and then dip down below it and come out the other side of the counter. And I was looking at that, and it stopped me like dead in the game, where I was just like, I can't believe that character behaved like a human being. Like, I can't believe that one single animation that they don't use anywhere else of this character like dipping underneath the counter to come outside of the bar to talk to me. I was like, what? Yeah. And the game has so many things like that where it's like you take for granted, I think, unless you play a lot of narrative games, certainly first person ones, and you're just like, oh, there's so much attention to detail in your just interactions with the world. And it is, I mean, people talk about it being immersive. It's a freaking immersive is what it becomes.
It really is.
Yeah. I mean, I know, John, you started Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and I don't know if you've gotten to the part. It's early on.
I just got to Hawaii, and
then you've seen it.
I'm just bopping around Hawaii. I just got there. I had my run in with the cab driver. I think the cab driver just, I don't know if this is a spoiler. The cab driver just joined me.
Yeah,
there you go.
But the part where Ichiban is sitting with Nanba and the Adachi, and they're at the burger place like after the date, and there's that part where Nanba like takes his Coke and he like swirls the ice around in the cup, and he like takes a swig of it and he puts it down, and it's like, who animates that?
Yeah.
But it made that scene so authentic. Yeah. And yeah, if you played a lot of those types of games, you're just like, holy shit. Like that's kind of the stuff that I get excited about.
Yeah. The one thing I did new this time in Cyberpunk was basically it was Phantom Liberty related, where I just played the other path this time, so I didn't do the I sided with Songbird instead of Reed.
Yeah,
which was interesting.
Oh, you're one of them, huh? Okay, yeah, I was Songbird all the way.
Yeah. I wanted, the first time I did it, I wanted to initially get the ending that comes along with the DLC, because there's a new ending you can get, and you can only get it if you side with Reed. So that's why I played it that way the first time, even though I didn't end up actually doing it. So but I highly suggest fans of like horror stuff side with Reed, because it's really cool what they do there.
But that music on the Songbird, like the last bit
that shit it was quite good. Yeah, playing through that this time, I was like, this shit's fucking awesome.
You're gonna make me put this on my system again, aren't you? Yeah, I'm gonna download this again.
Oh, I have already downloaded it at my own place of residence, and I'm like, I might boot that back up pretty soon here, just because I just find it so much fun to play. Well, I don't know what it is.
I haven't played as a street kid. I played as a nomad, and I played as a
That's actually what I played as this time.
What do they call them? Corpos?
Corpo,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, I was so confident after the last time I played Cyberpunk that I could.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to like host a pen and paper tabletop RPG,
Yeah.
and it's difficult for me to choose something like. Some of the worlds feel like I don't. Like I feel like I could probably do one in Fallout, and so I do have the Fallout books and stuff like that. But like I went all in on Cyberpunk because I was like, I think I could definitely do a Cyberpunk. I could DM a Cyberpunk game. So I like got everything, and this was like 2 years ago. And have I DM'd one single Cyberpunk game? No, I have not. But I have all the
Wow.
books.
Yeah. Well, you're on your way at least.
I'm
That's
on my
something.
way. Here we go.
You're...
Yeah.
But anyway, Cyberpunk was great.
Yeah, I don't know if the
Then-
audience has heard. It's really good.
It's a really good game.
And there's
I super enjoy it.
2,077 of them. So you have
Yeah.
2,000
That's more than Richman has. you know?
2,076 Cyberpunks to look forward to.
These people think there's a lot of Richman games. Let me tell you.
Yep.
Cyberpunk, even more. The other thing that I did of note, video game wise, I showed Kim Doki Doki Literature Club, and I got to basically show it to somebody who was not in on the bit and did not know what was coming, and that was amazing. It was great. Because so I'm playing it on PlayStation 5. It's the like the plus version I think you played, Julian.
That's what I played.
Yeah. So when that game boots up, it has like a big warning and basically kind of tips the bit really quick. And I knew that it had that. Luckily, they were kind of just on Facebook or something when it came up, so I clicked through it really quick, and they didn't see any of it.
Nice.
And I was like, okay, perfect. This is great. So I get to the main menu and I'm like, are you ready? All right, here we're gonna play this dumb anime dating game, but you know it might be good. Let's see. And they're like, okay, whatever, man. Let's do it, I guess. And so I basically did it like I would be streaming it. Like I just read all the dialogue out loud, did the whole thing. And slowly as it's going, they're like, why are we playing? The thing that was great that set them off was there's a part where one of them just starts talking about tea for like 10 to 15 minutes. And she was like, what the fuck is this? Why are you playing this? What is this? And I'm just like laughing. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe it'll get good. I don't know. Let's just see where things go. Like, what girl are you leaning towards? It's gonna be great. And as it's going, like it starts to go into the one character's sort of like a depression arc, I'll say. And she's like, and she's starting to go, okay, all right, this is pretty sad actually. This must be why you chose this. It's like an emotional thing. Okay, I'm starting to get it. This is sad. And then the thing happens, and the like the YouTube fucking capture for her face at that point was just glorious. And then I just kind of looked at them and I said, welcome to Doki Doki Literature Club. This is a horror game. And then they were like, oh, okay, all right, yeah, you got me. This is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was perfect.
It's a double-edged sword for that one because it is a slow burn to get to that stuff.
It's a very slow burn.
And you know, I can see people not making it. It's sort of, you
Yes.
know, I highly recommended Immortality to John, but he never saw the stuff.
Yeah, that's
and
another
it's
one.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, it's a very slow burn for Immortality too. There's game design elements of Immortality that are really cool and get you to discover that stuff, but it takes a while and you have to stumble upon it.
Yeah.
Because you can kind of miss something and not. It's designed to where its main mechanic is eventually going to trigger on its own, and you're going to be like, "What the fuck was that?" Okay, hold on, and then go from there. But if you don't, pick up on that and don't do the thing, then you won't really see anything.
It can, sometimes it can take a while.
Yeah.
To get there.
And that was the thing with Doki Doki Literature Club. It really presents as this like Yeah, this is just some shitty visual novel somebody made. Don't worry about it. There's little tiny hints like in the opening thing, like if you know what's coming, of like what's about to kind of happen. They're blinking, you'll miss it. A lot of it's
Mhm.
like almost presented as cute shit, like where like one of the characters is kind of breaking the fourth wall every now and then. That's kind of cute, right? And it's like, yeah, it is, but you don't think much of it.
Yeah.
Which is one of the reasons why like it sort of tips the bit. Like the initial version of it, and people can correct me if I'm wrong, it had the warning in the beginning of it, but it was kind of short, and it was just like one big like text blurb kind of thing, and then you click through it and you're done. Like you kind of almost blink and you'll miss it, but it was there just in case they would, hey, this game's got some shit in it, blah blah blah. But you wouldn't know exactly what you were getting into. Now it comes up with like almost like a dialogue box of like, hey, this is this kind of game, and you're like, oh, okay, that which I found interesting. But most people playing it now know what it is. Like
Yeah.
the secret's kind of out. So it was really awesome that I could actually skip through it and actually dial that in for somebody else. And they got a huge kick out of that. So I plan to keep going with that one pretty soon here, but now we're playing Baldur's Gate a little bit, which Baldur's Gate multiplayer has some problems for somebody who's never played through Baldur's Gate before. um, I guess I'll talk about that for just a second. Baldur's Gate 3 multiplayer is good if you've played through Baldur's Gate or played Baldur's Gate period, because but the way I was trying to do it was I wanted them to have their own character and then just have to worry about that, and then I would take care of everything else. But I wanted them to make all their, do their character and have the conversations and all that stuff. So I was trying to do it that way. You can't do it that way, though. That's the problem.
You both have to create a character, correct?
Yes, you both have to
Yeah.
create a character. And I was like, oh, it'll be fun if I can. And you can make one of them be Dark Urge or whatever. So I was like, oh, it'd be fun if I played Dark Urge and like randomly stuff will happen, right? The problem is if you're trying to let them have the party dialogues with people, they have to be in their party. Like they'll only talk to the people that are controlling them, basically. So I was like, oh, they're missing like a ton of stuff that they can actually do and conversations they can have and all this stuff. I was like, yeah, this just isn't working. So we kind of started that one over, and now I'm just like playing for them and letting them make all the decisions, and it's actually going a little bit better now. But yeah, I kind of judged it for that, because like you'll go to like, okay, say I'm controlling Asterion, right? Because I have him over on my side of the party thing or whatever. If she goes to talk to Asterion just fucking has like a little thing above his head that just won't talk to you, essentially, which is kind of
Right.
shitty. I was like, oh, that's kind of the whole thing of the game. You kind of gotta. That's kind of the reason it's cool. But yeah, so you miss a lot of that stuff. I didn't. If you played Baldur's Gate 3 and you're just like, the second player, it's fine, or you know what you're doing, but wasn't really super into that idea. But now it's going a lot better. But yeah,
I think I might try to take another stab at that next year, like in a lull, because
Yeah.
now that they're done updating it, and I want to see like if there's like if I can tweak enough of the options to make it feel like something that's doable for me.
I'm going to tell you right now, Julian, that game, from what I remember from playing it, when it first came out, it is a lot easier now. When you put it on the actual explorer difficulty, like I blaze through it. Like you miss every now and then, but that's just like any RPG.
Yeah.
But like for the most part, you just kind of blaze through it.
Five created characters. 5 created characters before I could get any progress. And I just had to resort to being a barbarian so I could actually do anything. That was the problem that I had with it in a broad sense, was like this idea that like, oh, you can be anybody. And it's like, yeah, except you can't, because you're not going to be able to do shit effectively playing certain classes, which is not when you're playing D&D, you have a sympathetic DM across from you that is like,
Right.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
you wanted to be a bard. Let me accommodate this battle in a way that a bard could actually have an upper hand.
Right.
And Baldur's Gate is just like, no, they're just fights. So, like, yeah, there's strategy involved, but it's pretty much like there's certain classes where unless you're just a badass gamer,
Mhm.
it's just not, they're just not going to pay off. The
They're
only
not gonna
progress
do
I made
much.
was as a
Right.
barbarian because I could go in with like, I could fight people and not die halfway through a battle.
Right.
And it sucked because I
Yes.
didn't want to play a barbarian. You know, I wanted to play the other 4 characters that I tried before I landed on barbarian.
Yes.
I actually had forgotten about the multiplayer aspect and I wanted to do it. So maybe, I don't know, schedule permitting, maybe I'll just throw it out on the Discord and see if somebody wants to like join in a weekly
Yeah,
regular
absolutely.
Baldur's Gate game because I'd
yeah.
forgotten that you could actually play with other people.
Yes, you super can. You can have, I think, up to 4. I'm not sure exactly how it works though.
Yeah, but see, I did want to play as a barbarian, and I did, and I still got to Act 3 and got fucking wrecked.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not. I haven't gotten to Act 3 with on the newer difficulty, but I can just tell from going through the beginning of the game. Like, I had a character that immediately I was like, oh, I might have messed something up here, and I still was able to like kill the like the one guy in the
In the ship.
transponder room and all that shit. Like I was able to do all that shit. I didn't really have any problem with it. Like I was like, okay, easier difficulty feels a lot easier. Like Shadowheart actually lands the fireball if you actually throw that at people. I'm like, okay, yeah, this feels a lot better than what it used to personally.
Yeah, because there's another element of it that is almost Souls-like in the sense that like they set you up for failure with certain things. Because like when Xavier told me, it's like, yeah, Shadowheart starts with a spell that she's not spec'd for, and it's like, well, why did she start with that?
I know,
like that's just mean.
Yeah, it is. But now it feels like she'll actually like randomly land it, at least on that difficulty. I'm sure if you go higher than that, yeah, she probably doesn't.
Yeah.
And Shadowheart gets like dirty towards the end of the game. Like there's some shit.
I like when Shadowheart's dirty.
Well, there you go. There you go, Julian. But yeah. So yeah, that's what we're working on now and other stuff. Also,
I kid. I'm Karlach all the way.
Oh, Karlach's great. Yeah, no,
yeah,
she's my favorite. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, that's video games that I've been doing so far. What about that's video games?
What about you, John?
I don't even like games.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Games are for wimps. I play sports, not games.
That's good.
Sports with real balls. And grass. Teams and mud. Have I touched it? That is a personal question. Oh, grass. Yes. I'm touching it now.
Oh, that's good.
Not
that's
the
impressive.
grass.
Oh.
I usually do that before the show.
What have I played? I'm so glad you asked. I don't think I've been on since I played. I was looking at my list here. I don't think I've been on since I played Star Wars. Whatever that was called.
Outlaws. Yeah.
Outlaws. That was awesome.
I don't think you liked it as much as I did.
I liked it a lot. You don't think I liked it? I liked it a lot.
That was the impression I got when you finished it. Like when you talked about it, I think in the Discord or maybe it was on socials.
No, I liked it. I liked it a lot. There's a new I didn't like the ending. I think the ending was like it didn't the ending was not satisfying based on the way that the story was set up to me. I did not find the ending satisfying. Like the final battle of the ending. But there's new DLC and I haven't gone back and like I had the version that would have allowed me to play the DLC that just came out. I thought they were just doing the Lando DLC, but there's a second set of DLC that just came out like 3 weeks ago.
Oh, cool.
And I haven't replayed. That was really fun. I mean, today I played Tony Hawk 3 and 4. I didn't realize that I hadn't played 3. I mean, I hadn't played 4, excuse me. I thought that 4 was the one where you got off the skateboard and like walked around and talked to people. because they decided that Tony Hawk needed to be like Grand Theft Auto, and you could
that
get
was
on and off
underground.
boards. Yeah, and I thought that was 4. So I thought I had played it, and I was shocked to discover that somehow, I think that was the year I was getting a divorce. Somehow I never played Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4. I played a lot of 3. I think the series peaked with 3, but I thought that, but then I hadn't played 4, and I was like, oh, did it peak with 4? Am I wrong?
Well, they also changed 4 a lot in this version, from what I understand. So I think there's a lot of stuff that didn't necessarily age well that was removed from this version that probably is for the best.
Right.
From what I understand, I don't think that I played 4. I remember liking 3, but feeling that I was full at that point.
Yeah.
And I played it I didn't play it nearly as long as 2. And then I was like, I think I'm good. And then I didn't play any more Tony Hawk after that.
Yeah. I played a little Promise Mascot Agency demo, which is the kind of game where you like, I didn't know what kind of game it was. I just thought it looks funny. Like, it looks interesting. It looks like a John game. And I fired it up, and it's like you're tasked with like befriending these mascots and sending them on jobs so that you can restore the reputation of like this mascot agency. But the game is very like the gameplay flow is very mobile game. It's like meet a mascot, meet a character, get a job, meet a mascot, assign a mascot to a job, and then use cards that help the mascot complete that job faster. And so I was like, I played through like a couple rounds of sort of like assigning mascots to jobs. And I was, after that point, like, is this all it is? And in a bad way? Or is this one of those games where it's like, it is all it is, but then suddenly I find that I've sunk like 25 hours into it, which sometimes happens out of boredom. You'll play like games that are like, not bad, but also not good. And when you get done with it, you feel bad because you're like, why did I play that whole thing? And I kind of feared that Promise Mascot Agency might be one of those kind of games where when I got done with it, I might be like, I can't believe I played that whole thing. But
I have heard from enough people this year that it's like a dark horse for their Game of the Year lists. So it's absolutely on my list to pick up, but I have only finished like, I think 2 games this year.
I have it. I just haven't started it up yet.
It's interesting, and it's got a lot of personality, but I worry that the gameplay is does mobile games like The Simpsons Tapped Out, where it's sort of like you put this person there and then you wait an hour until they're done with the thing that they're doing, and then you collect the cash. Which, and I played the shit out of Simpsons Tapped Out until one day I was like, well, this is a waste of time and money, and then just stopped altogether. But it kind of made me think it was one of those. I've been playing a lot of the show. I mean, I'm still grinding on Balatro, trying to do the other decks. Like I think at this point I've done like the red, black, blue, green, like all the sort of like starter ones. And now I'm trying to play through the ones that you earn from doing those first sets, where the ones that have like modifiers, where it's like, oh, if you play with this deck, it's all like, what one I got was like, this deck is just spades and hearts and nothing else.
Right.
Or like, this deck doesn't have any face cards. Like I've been trying to mess with those. Played a lot of WWE 2K24 since the last, or 25, whichever one is the one with the bloodline. I played
it's 25, the newest one.
Yeah, a good chunk of that since the last time I've been on. Hey, Justin, do you like all the NBA DLC? Is that really cool and exciting to you that when you buy your WWE game and you get like DLC, that you get a bunch of pro basketball players?
Listen, I'll at least say this. I don't much care about anybody that they put in the DLC half the time, because I just mostly focus on the creation stuff. And so when they do the celebrity thing, like they've done like Post Malone and shit in the past.
But
they had like
it's like one-offs typically. This is a weird that each DLC set has at least one, if not multiple, NBA players.
You know why that is? Because last year they put out the Friends of Pat McAfee pack. which had nothing but Pat McAfee and a bunch of like 4 other like NFL guys.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, who the fuck are these dudes? Like, we don't care about this shit. And they really complained about it. So they decided to split it up and give people like, well, if we split that up and give them like, you know, like New Jack or whatever in this pack, the stuff people have been asking for, but we just throw our random celebrity in there to get, you know.
Is New Jack in one of the sets? Is he coming?
Can't remember. I
No
think
way.
so.
No way.
I think so.
No way.
I think he might be. You might
Well,
have to look that up.
It was weird. I'm looking it up right now. It was.
Yeah, he might. That might be just a want that somebody had. I can't remember now that I think about it.
New Jack, Jordan Grace, Penta, Bull Nakano.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's that's one. Of them.
It's crazy. Like, Julian Abyss is in the latest DLC.
Was he ever in WWE?
No.
He's,
neither was New Jack.
Yeah, no, neither was New Jack.
Well, but I
New
get
Jack gets
that
a pass
connection
because
at
they
least
own the
because of
ECW
ECW.
library. Yeah,
Yes,
but they
Yeah.
don't own the TNA library, and Abyss is in the new.
Oh,
DLC.
but they're buddy with TNA
They're
right
super
now, right?
buddy with TNA.
they are buddy with TNA. The other thing is, I think Abyss is a backstage.
He was a
guy
road
for
agent.
them?
Yeah, he was a road agent.
Yeah.
I don't know if he still is, but he was.
He was
Is Joe
at least.
Hendry DLC?
Joe Hendry is rumored to be DLC. Actually, Joe Hendry is heavily rumored. There's like a secret character where everybody's been speculating who it could be, and it has been heavily speculated to be Joe Hendry.
Yeah. I could see it.
It's good. I mean, it is kind of like if you play a lot of it, it's just sort of like mindless. I will say this time I've been exploring more of the. I think the last with 24, I explored more of the My GM mode.
Sure.
And it's fine. I wasn't very good at it. My show was often the second or third, and rarely the first. In the ratings. I don't know. I don't quite understand how the game can be that hard. Because it feels like you can't ever get to be first, and I don't know if that's just because I suck. But
I'll be honest, John. I don't mess with that mode enough to tell you how to do it. So yeah,
that GM mode is like basically you're planning the shows and setting up the matches and the rivalries, and when those rivalries, like who you're pairing together for those rivalries, how those rivalries end. Certain types of matches at certain pay-per-views you get bonuses. Certain types of matches with certain performers get bonuses, and certain types of performers against certain types of performers get like positives or negatives. Like 2 of this type are good and 2 of this type are bad, and then it's just management. Like it's you can play the matches if you want to, like, but it's more fun to set them up and sort of like unless you're trying to force a title change. Like I play it if I'm trying to force a title change, but by and large, I just let it simulate. I don't watch it simulate. I just click the simulate button and see what the outcome is. But it's interesting because you're like competing with the other WWE shows as if you're all vying for like the highest ratings, and then you get the ratings report at the end of the week. You have to do like contract negotiations and send out talent scouts and stuff like that. And like the talent scouts, you have like budgets for to tell them like, here's how much I'm looking to spend on somebody, and they come back with like, oh, you can get this awesome person, you can get like this crappy person. It's pretty in depth. That's the funny thing about like the 2K games have a lot of modes where it's kind of like they almost have too many modes.
Sometimes,
where it's sort of like you don't have to tailor it for each subset of gamer. Like I feel like the My GM, the people who play that, they could probably make more revenue by creating that as a different game almost. Like support
I can see
it. Yeah, support it a little bit better and do it like an e-fed. And I think they could, but instead it's like, oh, you have this whole thing in this game where I don't know that your main audience is doing My GM. But I played a lot of My GM in 24. This one, I'm doing a lot more of the, what's it called? It's the one where you get the cards and you have to use the cards that they give you. And
My Faction,
where you go through the, like, I haven't really spent any money in it. I don't have the money to spend it.
That's good.
But I've done all the, and the rewards aren't worth it to me to be like, oh, you had Gold Dust 98, now you have Gold Dust 97. And it's like, okay, well, whoopty shit. Like,
some of them are like, I guess, kind of cool, like, but not it's usually I'm kind of right there with you.
Yeah,
I've never
and
seen a reward that I've been like, oh my
Yeah.
god, I gotta get that.
it's like the novelty of like, oh, the ones that look like toys, and it's like once you play one match with the ones that look like toys, like the novelty of that is worn off too. Like there's a lot of stuff like that where it's like there's not enough. The incentive would be actual wrestlers. Like the incentive would be like, oh shit, I can't play. Okay, like Steiner's a good example because like Steiner in the
Sure.
game is collegiate early '90s Steiner. It's like Scott.
Yeah.
It's like Scott Steiner from like the Steiner brothers. So he has the mullet.
Right.
He has the mullet and the colorful singlets. But it's almost as if Big Papa Pump is like a mentally like I think of him as separate from like early Steiner.
Yeah.
But big,
100%.
But Big Papa Pump isn't in the game. And it's like that's one where it's like, oh, if I was incentivized to like earn a wrestler that's not just a that feels like a completely separate wrestler and not just
Yeah.
like not just it's like they've got there's 8 Cenas in the game or something like that because he needs to wear 8 different t-shirts and it's sort of like
Yeah.
I don't need all 8 Cena t-shirts.
Yeah.
I need people who feel completely different from each other. But I've been playing a lot of the My Faction. Julian loaned me discs of Elder Scrolls and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. I already mentioned that. Elden Ring. I said Elden Scroll, didn't I? Elder Scrolls? Elden Ring?
Yeah.
Elden Ring. Elden Ring is what I played for through the tutorial. Then I walked to my right and there was a cliff and there were a bunch of like bat creatures and I went, well, I walked forward and I saw this giant centaur standing in the woods and I was like, oh, I cannot go there. He's very large. And I walked to my right and I walked towards this cliffside and there were like these bat things circling around. And I was like, yeah, I don't know about all those bat things. I'm going to try to avoid those. And I'm going to walk in the middle in between where the centaur is and where these bat things are. And so I'm like trying to cut a path through there. And the centaur guy, I get hit from behind. Like, I don't even see him. I just fly across the screen. Like, the bottom of the screen, a big golden sword comes out, and, like, I'm flying through the thing, and I'm, like, moving the camera around, like, what the hell? And then he's, like, there, and he hits me, like, 2 more times, and it's, like, game over. And I was like, yeah, I'm done. That's it. This is it. So,
I think I want to sit you down with Elden Ring the way that I sat you down with Mass Effect 2.
I was
like, no, but look, watch for a little bit.
I was playing Mass Effect 2 though. Like I was playing it. I just wasn't playing it quote unquote right because I didn't know how to use the psionics. So like, is that what they're called?
The biotics.
Biotics.
Well, I mean, just the abilities in general. Because I think you were kind of just letting the CPU do whatever, and you weren't really using your abilities either.
Yeah.
You were just kind of shooty.
Yeah, I was just shooting. I was shooting my way through it, and I played through a chunk of it at that point. Like it was well into the game before Julian was like, "Oh, do this and do this," and I was like, "Oh, okay." But I wasn't having any problem with it. Elden Ring is just like I completed the tutorial, walked outside, and died, and was like, "Okay, this world is not for me." Also, I don't know that I understand like the. I played Bloodborne, a little bit, and I don't really understand the like notes thing of like funny notes on everything was like also a little not useful and kind of annoying that it's like all these like funny notes people leave on everything was like none of it was useful because people try to do stuff for the lulls, so it would be like jump down here and you'd be like, yeah, no, you're not supposed to jump down there, and sometimes you were supposed to jump down there, but it's like it was like there's no discernment as to like which ones are useful and which ones are not, and some of it is like half-assed. You can't even understand what they're saying.
That you suss out as you play it more because like you start to see like wait, there's just this one note here in this cave, and then you look at it, it's like turn around, and then you turn around and you look around, it's like, oh shit, like that's a thing there that I could use. Or the ones where it's like, beware of ambush, over here or whatever. Like there are like really useful ones, and you start to like suss out like the useful ones from the memey ones as you get deeper into the game. And I do really applaud it for being a game that like it teaches you through experience, because like the Gold Knight, like he's there, as a to tell you like, look, you don't have to go in this there's different ways that you can go, and he's supposed to kill you. It's sort of like the in the Matrix 1, it's like everybody falls the first time, right? Like everybody runs afoul of that motherfucker in the first few minutes and dies. And then you go a different way and you find some shit, and then you come back but actually, like, the next like big objective, just like as far as like the critical path, is past him, but you also learn that you can just go around him. You don't have to engage with him until you want to.
Yeah. But a game Julian did like that I also enjoyed, although I think I'm going to start it over because it's not very. It doesn't do a lot of hand-holding in regards to resource management stuff, and I feel like I figured out some of the stuff slightly later than I was supposed to, and I'd kind of like to go back and just manage things a little better as alters. Really enjoyed alters, almost from Go. Really liked alters.
Nice.
But I gotta all the stuff about like setting up the outposts and drilling and how to get, like, there's a lot of that kind of stuff, radiation management being one where I think I'm on the downside of like, I should have managed that better, but I didn't quite know what I was looking at with my own radiation. The little things like that where it's like, I'd like to go back and restart it now that I'm a little bit smarter, but I'm only 2 altars in. So I'm not like way in. I just unlocked the second altar when I thought, I should probably go back and reset this and start from scratch.
Yeah. And it's not a long game either. And it's that we talked about this like just personally, and it reminded me of like Subnautica, where like the first time I played Subnautica, like, you know, it was very like haphazard and just kind of like throwing stuff. Like I remembered like, okay, it wants me to make a base, so let me just like make the basic thing that I need here. I didn't really think about the placement or the orientation of it. And then my next one was like a little bit more organized and everything. But then I started the game over, like after playing it for like 15 hours or something like that, and I got back to where I was in a fraction of the time because I understood the loop and getting like where I needed to get stuff and what I wanted. And that's kind of the nature of those type of survival games.
Right.
But I'm really digging the altars so far. I haven't gone back to it because of Death Stranding, but I really want to see that one all the way through.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I know you guys are playing the show again. Y'all are both playing the show.
Oh, of course.
You really like the show.
Always. You know me.
Playing a lot of the show lately. I have to. The
big show.
The show's become one of those games where it's much like I find this. I don't know if I've ever talked about this on this or the previous show before. I can't put games like Theme Park Builders, whatever what's that game called? Roller Coaster.
Roller Coaster Tycoon?
No, not Roller Coaster Tycoon. The other one, Theme Park World. I can't remember what it's called.
Planet Coaster.
Planet Coaster. That is the name of the game. Planet Coaster, Pressure Washer Simulator, Crime Scene Cleanup Simulator. There's like these certain games that are like time suck games where whole days will pass. And I cannot leave those on my system. And the show is right on the borderline of like one of those where I will sit and fiddle with the show and play like baseball games all day long.
MLB the show. Just for if everybody's wondering.
And I have to take it off my system. And the show is like threading that. Like it's like it's a real tightrope in terms of like I should probably take it off my system, but the baseball season only has a couple more months left, so it's only going to be updating for a couple more months. So I'm kind of like, but yeah, there's some of those games. I for my birthday last year, I got Planet Coaster the 2 and the DLC, and I had it on my system for like 3 days, and the Friday and the Saturday and the Sunday that I had it on my system were lost to designing a theme park that no one can ever visit. And I was like, what a colossal waste of my life these past 3 days have been. Because
But did you have fun?
not in proportion to how shitty I felt.
Fair enough.
Great.
It's different when I am playing a game that like I'm engaged in a way where I'm thinking about acting, or maybe I'm thinking about storytelling, or maybe I'm just enjoying the reflexive actions of hitting a ball with a bat. But the theme park games are just hot dog stand go here. And it's like
Yeah.
and then I look at the clock and 5 hours have passed. And I'm like, what did I do? I placed the fake hot dog stand. And I'm sort of like, and what did that do for you, John? And it's like, it killed an entire day. And what could you have been doing that day? Anything else. Even
That's
playing
fair.
a different game.
That's fair.
But they're
But look, John, in a struggle with sin, I really needed to help Tira with her tribe at Ruma, and then also get her into a 3-way with the chieftain. Now that did take me 8 hours, but it definitely I was happy to have gotten that.
But Julian,
at the end
did
of
you
the 8
have
hours.
to place a hot dog stand at any point?
I placed a hot dog stand in her.
all right, touch
Oh,
grass.
Yeah.
Well, that's like Fallout. So Fallout, I can lose hours in, but I don't feel guilty when I get done playing Fallout. Like I can lose the same amount of hours in like a narrative game and not feel the guilt that I feel with literally like I'm just manipulating fake restaurants around, or like scenery, or like let me move this fake tree from here to here, and it's like it's only at the end of the day, what is it? It's almost like it's not really like video game playing. What it's like, it's more like model train building, where it's like, oh, I have a set in my basement, and it's like, here's where the post office goes, and here's the old mill, and here's this tree. Oh, you know what? I'm going to move the tree by Mr. Grover's house, and it's like that, but I paid $70 for it.
Right.
And
I mean, you're probably gonna pay way
you
more
way
than that for the.
I just
for the
can't.
train set.
I don't feel good. I feel bad, and I love them. I love playing them, and they're gigantic time sucks, and whole days will disappear, and that makes me feel really, really bad.
Yeah.
Because I don't have, at the end of the day, I can't come on this show and be like, oh man, I beat this and that, or I played through this, or we talked about storytelling, or we talked about like the animation of the bar thing, or like hearing you guys talk about Death Stranding 2, and it's like all things that can be discussed as an analytic piece of artwork and like narrative content and complexity. And I even don't have that with these. I can't come on and be like, oh, you should have seen, I put the place where you buy the funny hats right beside the milkshake shop, and it was next to the Tilt-A-Whirl. Like that's not interesting for the show even. Like that's not.
I don't know.
I don't know. Listen, John, let's not say that. Let's
The
not
conversation
say that. Listen.
right now about how it's not interesting is more interesting than the actual conversation would be.
I don't know. Let's not rule it out, okay? Let's not rule it out.
There's like the Jurassic Park game that was that way too. I can't keep them on my system. I can't.
Yeah, I get it. I
get the sentiment though, because like I do feel that way with like multiplayer stuff, or like Final Fantasy 14, which is consistently the game that I like when we get to like the end of the year, the PlayStation breakdown that they send you of like the games that you played. 14 is always at the top of that list.
Mhm.
And I only play it really once a week for the most part. But you know, it is hard for me to be like, because there's stuff that I would like to do in 14 that would require me to play that game a lot more.
Mhm.
But you're right, but Death Stranding 2 is here, and then I want to play the Altars, and I want to finish Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, and there's a lot of stuff that have endings that I can complete and feel that I completed something, instead of a thing that's just like ever present and there's no end in sight.
The cleaning games are like really the worst. And I realize they're different, but they have similar things in that they're not interesting to other people, and they are time sucks. And the cleaning games are even worse than like the management the land management games, or however you want to, I don't know what you want to call them. They're just like, I typically play them sandbox. So I'm not even working as a game. I'm just going, it's just aesthetics. It's like the path here
Right.
goes to this roller coaster, and that's all that it is. The worst thing is the cleaning stuff, the pressure washer and the crime scene cleaner, both, where I'm like, I have actual objects in my house that I could clean. like
No, fuck that.
Right, yeah.
like in the 6 hours that I spent pressure washing virtual playgrounds and restaurants, I could have actually just cleaned my bathroom in like 30 minutes. Like just a fraction of the time.
But when you clean the bathroom, does it then do that nice like shiny thing with the sound effect that goes bling, and then like you hear money go ching? You don't, do you?
No, I don't.
Yeah, that's see.
I think
that's
you've hit on a great idea for a new type of sponge that like has a dopamine, like when you get done cleaning, you like have a little, you just click the button like I'm done. It says like a I'm done button on it. And you click that button, you hear applause, and you're like, achievement unlocked. It's like you just
Right.
then you're like, yeah, I'll clean my bathroom every day.
It's not a bad idea.
It's actually not.
No.
I should cut that part.
Yeah, don't
Talk
let
to
that out in the
business people.
world, Julian. Actually,
Yeah.
Oh,
Maybe Chef Man would be interested.
Chef Man. Well, they haven't gone into cleaning products yet.
That's true. They are. It's in the name, Chef Man.
Was Chef Man bitten by a radioactive chef, and he has the strength and agility proportionate to a chef?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. I imagine. I hope so. I hope that's what it was. Yeah.
He's bitten by Gordon Ramsay,
and that's what allows them to make high quality products for your kitchen, John Gholson.
Thank you. I also played through Fallout 3 with all the DLC for the first time ever. I've beaten Fallout 3 before, but not like I said whole enchilada earlier in the episode. I'll bring it back.
Right.
The whole enchilada. I had not done that. I kept waiting for the long rumored remaster and just kind of went, well, screw it. I am addicted enough where I'll play the remaster anyways, and I went ahead and played through the game and all the DLC, which I hadn't done before. It's kind of funny because I had played through part of the what's it called? Is it Point Lookout, the one that's all horror themed and like hazy, and there's like it's Lovecraftian, and there's like the mutant swamp people with the shotguns everywhere, and there's the ghoul that lives in the big mansion.
Is this is Fallout 3 you're talking about?
Yeah, Fallout 3. It's like it's
it
like a little island.
I don't think I've ever actually played it with all the DLC myself personally.
It's Point Lookout is the name of it. It's funny, when I played it the first time, which I guess was what, PS3? Is that right?
Yeah, it would have been PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 era.
Yeah, that it was so scary. Like I found Point Lookout like really terrifying. And then this time it was just like, oh, it was just another Fallout level. Like it wasn't it wasn't nearly as terrifying as it was the first time I'd played it, but it was like all the fog effects and how desolate it felt and everything. And this time it was just like, oh, it feels desolate because there's like nothing here. And I just like breeze through the DLC. I can't believe you never played it.
I appreciated when the Mass Effect Legendary Edition came out that they at least attempted to make the DLC stuff roll out in like a slightly less jarring way. Because I know like a lot of the stuff from that era, and even like old Mass Effect, like, you know, if you had the DLC installed, you would get to a certain point where it's just like, bam, there's all of these missions, and you know, and it felt like very like inorganic. And I remember, like, I think I did play a version of Fallout, like I think on Game Pass, that had everything, where like it's like one of the many times that I tried to get into Fallout 3.
Yeah.
And it was like, as soon as I got out of the vault, it was like all of a sudden my quest log was like full of shit.
Yeah.
And it's just like very,
listen,
I was like, I wish this stuff just rolled out at a kind of steady clip.
Fallout 4 is the one I always remember, because like it's like immediately after a certain point, if you have all the DLC installed, it's like you get a bunch of quests that are just like, listen to this radio transmission, and it's like, okay, and then that's basically, it's just them introing that there's DLC or whatever, because they expected you to go back to an old save or whatever, and then all of a sudden, hey, there's this new radio transmission, and you follow that and go.
Yeah, I think I want to say, isn't 4's DLC? 3 is like, it's mostly radio based, where it's like, oh, you have signals you didn't have before. So like whenever the
Yeah.
DLC is loaded, the radio's there. But I think 4 it moves into the realm of like it's radio, but it's location based radio. So you don't pick up certain stations until you're in certain areas.
Some of it, I think Nuka Cola World is just pops up though,
Yeah,
if I remember right.
yeah, because
and
it's
that
just
was
that
like the
ad that
big one
plays
I
over and
remember.
over. Yeah, that ad loops.
Yeah, and I think I forget the one the island, and it's like in New Hampshire, whatever the fuck that was, with the synths
Far
and the
Harbor.
Far Harbor.
No,
I wanted
not
to say
Far
Cold
Harbor. It's not Far Harbor. It's
Far
Far
Harbor?
Harbor.
Okay, you're right. Yes,
Pepperidge
I-
Farm
my-
remembers.
my sincerest apologies, but yeah, that one, I think that one might be like level based, and then you hear the transmission or something
Yeah,
like that.
you can't
I can't
do
remember.
it until it does not unlock until you complete the Nick Valentine, his little story about the guy from his past,
Right.
and then it unlocks.
Yes.
But Nick initiates, because when that completes, the Nick secretary is like, "Hey, there's another case you need to look into," and
Right.
it's only if you have that
Yes.
DLC, and then you do all that with the girl that thinks she's a Sith and runs away from home and all that kind of
Right. Yeah, that sounds right. But anyway, how was Fallout 3 with all the DLC?
It was good. It was really long post game, which surprised me. So the DLC I had played through chunks of it, had done the Zeta, the whatever Alien Zeta or whatever the name of that DLC is. I'd completed that before. I hadn't completed Point Lookout. But there was a whole after game that I had not experienced before at all, and didn't even know it was in there. Like, I didn't know that the after game stuff was part of the DLC, and that was the stuff that was the most surprising, because I recognized the DLC as DLC, as far as, oh, okay, the Zeta stuff is like I have to go to the UFO and go and get, like, open the hatch to the UFO, get in it, then go to space and do all that DLC. And like,
Right.
or like the Point Lookout stuff where it's like I have to get on a boat, go to Point Lookout. This was like, I knew that I was not necessarily keeping track of like what DLC was downloaded. And I completed the game, and then the game kept going and going and going after the whole Liberty Prime stuff. And I was like,
Yeah.
wait, what is this? Like, this is all new stuff. And it's basically like you're still doing favors for Brotherhood of Steel guys, and you're still like, there's like infighting about who gets to run the water, the place that is like pumping the water now. It was all, and I was sort of like, I was most shocked at the length of the post game with the new DLC. It raises the level cap, and then the game just kind of keeps going and going, which I thought was pretty cool. I'm looking for, if they do the remaster, like, I'll end up playing it again. I know I will. I played a little bit of the Oblivion remaster, and I didn't. I may go back to it. I'd forgotten how much I had played of Oblivion. I thought that I hadn't played much of it, but as I was playing it, I was like, I remember all this. And I think the game's really weird in that it's like super duper beautiful until you're talking to people, and then people are super weird and all stiff, and like
it's got this,
like,
it
still has the same skeleton of the animation
Bethesda
underneath it.
stuff.
It's really strange.
Pretty much.
It looked like bad. It was like bad versions of what you experience in Starfield.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I also think the Khajiit look like shit. I just can't get over it.
What Bethesda games look like. I mean, they just all look like that. You know I'm right.
Okay.
Yes.
Justin, say something. Get us out of this awkward.
What do you want me to say?
I don't know. Say
Shamalama ding dong.
And Justin Ham.
Thank you. How about these taxes? They're a lot. Sometimes you got to pay money to the government so that they will offer services. I don't know what to say here, Julian. I'm dying. Should we talk about movies or should we save that for another time? Because
No, we should talk about some movies. We all watched some movies.
I did. Yeah, we watched movies. Apparently, I'm watching a lot more movies now.
Yeah, I don't even know who you are anymore.
I don't either. I'm hosting fucking cookouts. It's a whole fucking thing. Life comes at you fast. It's weird. Yeah, I watched Jurassic Park or Jurassic World Rebirth in the theater on July 4th.
The sequel to Jurassic Park remake.
Yeah. Sure. That movie is boring as shit. I was so like, does this have like anything new or interesting that it wants to do here? And the answer was constantly like, no, it doesn't. I have a real thing with movies when I can start just predicting lines that people are going to use, especially when they're like really cliched. Like there's just like there was one I was like, I swear to God, if during this scenario a motherfucker says, "We didn't find them, they found us," I swear to God, and then like 5 minutes later, I was like, "Yeah, there it is, you motherfuckers! God, you have nothing, don't you? You got nothing."
Did you see the trailer for the Smurfs?
I have not.
I saw it today in front of Superman, and like there was like one of those moments where, and I can't believe it was in the trailer. Where it's John Goodman voicing Papa Smurf, and like a character is squeezed through a portal through like a small hole, and John Goodman in the most couldn't give a shit, let me cash my paycheck line reading is like, that's gonna leave a mark. But he says it like that, like there's nothing where it's like the dialogue is so cliche and so rote. That it's just like even the actors can't deliver it anymore. Like they've lost the ability. Like not only can you predict it, they've lost the ability to even sell it.
Yeah. You know, I at least have like somewhat respect for that because at least he's getting paid. God bless him. You know, like that. There's a level of respect for that. But like, man, this movie was just like, I don't know. I haven't seen a Jurassic Park movie in a long time. Like it's been a while, and I'm like, if they're all like this,
did you see the World Trilogy?
I need to go back.
Like the three that came. So there's the original like Jurassic Park trilogy, and then there's like the Jurassic World trilogy. I was hoping this one would have a new title and start like a new trilogy because it doesn't have any of the characters. But did you see the Jurassic World movies?
No, I didn't.
None of them.
I just kind of went in blind, and I don't feel like I've missed very much. At least not going through here. Yeah.
Well, okay.
Yeah, I might have.
Okay,
maybe
so
I did.
Jurassic World is like, what would happen if the park actually opened and like served visitors? And of course, it's like, okay, all hell breaks loose. It has a lot of dumb shit in it, but that concept is like, all right, that's fine. That's an organic concept to land on.
I maintain that the first like 45 minutes of that movie, where it's just people walking around the park, is like excellent because it's like, man, I want to go to this theme park.
I can see that.
Then the second one is that there is a millionaire or billionaire who auctions dinosaurs off at like really low prices comparatively.
Right.
And he has a daughter who's sick, and she may or may not be derived from dinosaur DNA. Like a little girl, and
why wouldn't
there are because they have all the dinosaurs that they're prepping for auction. There's like some loose in their house, and it's like a haunted house movie where there's like velociraptors like sneaking around the house, and and people with flashlights and stuff. Like, what was that? And like
that at least has an interesting concept a little bit.
Not good. It was not good.
I didn't say it was good, John. I'm just saying at least it's like an idea.
But
like,
it's you're doing basically like you're moving away from dinosaurs though. You're going into like like human cloning and like velociraptors as the ghosts in a haunted house. Then you get to the third one is like, okay, we're going to bring all the cast together. Like we're going to do one big movie. And it's like, oh, you discover that like InGen they're experimenting on like different animals, and they've created like giant locusts, and it's caused like a big problem. And that's how they first notice that something's going on, is like there's these giant locusts, and it all leads back to InGen and they're like trying to genetically manipulate dinosaurs and that sort of thing. And that the movie is like, I'd heard it was really bad, the third of the Jurassic Worlds. Well, so I heard it was terrible, and I was watching it, and I was like, yeah, this isn't so bad. Like, this is better than the one in the mansion. It's better than that one. And I'm like, I this is fine. And like it climaxes, and there's like a big fire on the compound, and everybody is like gets out of there by the skin of their teeth. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And I was like, that wasn't bad. And I pause it to get up to do something because I think the movie's about to end, and I'm like, let me go get a drink of water or whatever. And I pause it, and the movie still has like an hour left.
Yeah.
And I was like, why is there still an hour of this? And it's like, it's like 2.5 hours long. And I was like, why is there still an hour of this movie? And then it just kept going, and nothing was better than what had happened at what I thought was the natural climax. If it would have rolled credits then, I would have been satisfied. Not in love, but satisfied. But the fact that it kept going, I was just like, it was like, stop. Just stop. Like, the ending was back there. Like, this is not nothing that's going on now is better than what was already happening.
The Jurassic World Rebirth is also 2.5 hours long.
Can I ask you a question?
Absolutely.
I have heard that this movie, so somebody was talking about how the pseudoscience of Jurassic Park is like, oh, what if you could extract dinosaur blood from like a fossil in amber, and then work from that, and like use frogs, asexual frogs, to like create actual dinosaurs, et cetera, et cetera. So it has like a lot of pseudoscience. Sure. I have heard that the pseudoscience in this one is these 3 specific dinosaurs hold the cure for cancer, and we need to get these 3 dinosaurs because they'll cure cancer.
Yes, 100%. It's. I don't think it's cancer. I think they pen it as heart disease. I can't remember exactly, but yes, it is. It is a miracle cure if we get the DNA for these 3 dinosaurs. 100%. So we have to go to this island that no one's allowed to go to, in the middle of the equator or whatever. Scarlett Johansson's gonna go there because she's good at doing this stuff. So she's gonna lead everybody, and it's gonna be really good. So we're gonna go there.
We have a plank of wood with a red wig. Oh, just she's just got like no charisma.
No, it's quite bad the entire time, Julian. It's not good at all. Nobody in the I don't think I had a single character that I enjoyed at all. And like I can't think of any of them. So they basically set it up like okay, we're on the boat ride there's some family who's for some reason traveling to I can't remember where they were going. They're from South America or something like that, and they're traveling north. But because for some reason now the dinosaurs, the water dinosaurs, are now out here, and we're getting they sink the boat. So they call for help, and then of course the team that's on their way to this island goes and is like, well, we gotta help them. So they turn around and go back there, and then sure enough, here comes the big dinosaur, and that's one of the dinosaurs that we had to get. So we have a big action water scene. And there's the rich guy who's put this team together because he works for the pharmaceutical company who wants to get this cure for cancer or whatever. So he's going to pay Scarlett Johansson and all these people a bunch of money to go get it. God, it's just so fucking boring. It's we just like every single thing. I'm just like, okay, yeah, I see this coming. Of course, in the end, the pharmaceutical guy is going to be the bad guy. Yeah, there it is. There he's. But we have to convince Scarlett Johansson that, hey, what if we got the cure and then we gave it for free to everybody, and it's and because everybody deserves this science. And it's like, but she's not sure yet because she really wants the money. But by the end of the movie, I'm pretty sure she's gonna fucking become a good guy or whatever. And it's like, God damn it, everything about it is just so like you can just call every shot. Like it's like, of course, this guy's gonna get eaten by the D-Rex, which is just I don't know what that is, but it just sounds dumb. They never really explain it. At least I don't remember them explaining it. The entire
It should have been the G-Rex because these are turning into like the Resident Evil series.
Yes.
So
By the
just
way,
go from T to G.
this island is a group of mutant dinosaurs. Because the regular ones just aren't enough anymore. They have to be like mutants that were too mutated to put in the amusement parks. So they're upset and they're all on this island. We just put them there. We don't go there.
Next movie is going to be a dinosaur human hybrid that's
you
like
might as
like the
well.
Predator.
Let's fucking go. I'm down. That sounds more interesting than this shit. Like fuck, man. Not like. And then, of course, like, okay, so the family is now on this island tour with these guys, and they got to do it because it's illegal for them to be on this island. They'll be in a lot of trouble if they get caught on this island. Okay, so now the family is caught in this stuff, but then they get separated, so they're on their own little adventure. And there's a coming of age story with there's a little cute dinosaur. The little cute dinosaur is cute. I will give it that. They did get that right at least. There's a little cute dinosaur that she befriends. The little girl, and then there's this whole thing with the man's daughter's boyfriend's a piece of shit, but maybe he's not a piece of shit because he goes and saves her and all this other shit, and like nobody's dying almost ever. Like it's a PG-13 movie, and I'm just like, okay, like no, but nobody's just like it's kind of just boring. Like I don't know, you can just sit there and like call every shot of just like, okay, now they're gonna get on the island, okay, now they're gonna go find this one, and okay, now we're gonna have this little action scene. I don't know, man. And I remember, like, I think you could, if you cut that movie down, it could be this like really neat action movie, like somehow. But God, it just goes on for so long. Like it by the end of it, I was just like, I have never been more ready to leave a fucking movie theater almost ever. When it got done and they were like, so what? Obviously, you have the post movie discussion. Oh, what did you think of the film? I was like, it was long. That was my immediate response. It was very long. Oh man, Jurassic Park World sounds like a better name to me, but whatever. Jurassic World Rebirth. I don't recommend it. Not good. Not good film.
Well, John, you had a better experience at the movie theater today.
Yeah.
That I would like to hear about.
I saw Superman.
Okay.
It's just called Superman, isn't it?
It's just called Superman. It's about this guy. He's an alien, but his planet that he was from blew up, and he was rocketed to Earth as a baby. And he gets his powers from the sun. It's like crazy, right? But then he gets a job in journalism, and nobody warns him that print is dead, which I thought was wrong.
And
then it's about his struggles trying to be a journalist.
Yeah.
For a failing newspaper. And the last dying gasps of the Daily Planet.
That's good.
Sometimes he flies. There's a dog in it.
Okay.
You're really selling me on this.
Does the dog fly?
Yeah, the dog flies too, which I was just
okay.
I've never seen a dog do that before, so that was worth
That's wild. That's
I will say,
wild, yeah.
if you've never seen a dog fly, worth the price of admission, everyone.
Okay.
You should go you should go line up and get your tickets today. There was also like a lot of it had music. It was fully scored.
As one would hope, yeah.
It had a full orchestral score. There were
had actors with faces.
Oh, you guys, I did see and I know Julian, you in particular are probably really worried about this, and I don't want to spoil anything, but I know that it was like a concern. But Maria Menounos, she still loves movies.
She does. She does still love movies, and she wears, at least in my theater,
her wardrobe lately has been atrocious.
It looks like she's wearing a mop in the one I keep seeing. Like it's insane.
It looks like one of those. It's made from this. She's like the Cruella de Vil of those sheepdogs. Those those very specific ones that have the like mop looking fur. She's just like She's the Cruella de Vil of those, whatever those are.
I'm happy she's still getting work.
Superman was good. I don't know. What do you want to know
Okay.
about Superman that you don't already know about Superman? Is there anything I can do that's like not a spoiler? I will say I thought that the difference between it and previous DC movies to some degree, and certainly with Marvel movies, is that it was definitely set in a DC universe that felt like a living, breathing thing that had already been established. So unlike Marvel movies, which a lot of times are like, what if this was in the real world? Like, what if Spider-Man
Right.
really lived in New York? And what if this really did this? And it's like, this was very much like, oh, this is just a crazy cartoon world where there's just superheroes. And like, they're not necessarily old hat. Like, people still react to them, but they're not, it does no like accommodation for like, well, in the real world a hawk woman would actually blah. It's just like, no, it's just straight up like, you just buy that this is the way that this world is. Like, it's just people live shoulder to shoulder with superheroes,
which I appreciate.
That's kind
I
of cool.
feel that
Yeah.
I feel that the MCU was on the cusp of finally like taking the limiters off and just being like, fuck it, like, you know, these are the comic book characters, but they still try to hem and haw about certain things, like you know, like Doctor Strange, I think, was a good example where in the good way, where they started with hedging their bets, where, you know, it's the whole like, well, just pretend that these are programs that you're using, you know, for a modern term if you don't like the term magic. But then by the time you get to like Infinity War, he's like, nah, son, I'm just like, you know, making duplicates of myself and I'm doing all these cool spells, and it doesn't, you know, like, it's like the actual Doctor Strange, but there's still parts where it's like, I don't know why you're trying to couch this in so much like it. I always go back, John, to when we were talking about the original X-Men before it came out. We were working at the Pokemon kiosk, and you had that copy of Entertainment Weekly with like, it was like the first issue that had the X-Men in their costumes.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, the article was talking about like, oh, like, you know, we have to make it believable and grounded in reality. And you were like, people are coming there to see a guy that has like metal claws that come out of his hands. Like, we're already sold. Like, you don't need to make this like believable and realistic. Like, we're already on board.
Yeah.
And I've always thought about that and that was like the beginning of the modern superhero movie. And they're still trying to, you know, hedge their bets there, and instead of just because like, my thing is like, when is somebody going to make like a comic book movie that's just like, these are the actual costumes and fuck it, like, you know, we found a way to make them look like the comic books.
Yeah. I mean, to some degree, like, I'm looking at Mr. Terrific in this movie and I was like, yeah, he just straight up has the jacket that says, and it got giggles because his jacket says fair play on the sleeves. And I'm like, oh, they just kept his jacket, but the audience is like, like, you could hear people like giggling because his jacket says fair play on it, and probably wondering like why his jacket says fair play on it, without the movie necessarily taking any time to explain like, well, Mr. Terrific is actually a generational character that goes back to the 1940s, where the original Mr. Terrific wore fair play on the front of his chest, and blah blah blah. Like, there's no. It's just even when it comes to like the characters that are in it that have been part of the trailers, so everybody knows there's a bunch of other DC characters in it because they're in the trailers. All of that is treated like nobody is given any like, they end up being important parts of the fabric of the story, but there is no pausing for like, let me tell you who I am, let me tell you where I'm from, let me tell you. It's just like, there's a fight that goes on, and essentially like a very early version of the Justice League shows up to like help Superman in the fight. And everybody on the street already knows who they are, and they're like, oh, Green Lantern! And it's like, there's no pause to be like, I was given this by an alien, and blah, blah, blah. Like, there's no, it's
Right.
it just rolls on. And I kind of like that. I asked Wendy, who's not necessarily like a big DC person, if she ever felt confused while she watched it, or that she needed more information. And she said no. I heard people talking about it at the bathroom after that were all excited about it. And one of the things that I heard them talking about was they liked that it didn't give us Superman's origin again, or anybody's origin.
Yeah.
They liked that it was literally like, you know who Lois Lane is, you know who Superman is, you know what the Daily Planet is, you know all this stuff, you know who Ma and Pa Kent are. we're not going to even do a flashback or anything that's like, oh, here's him arriving in the rocket, and here's this, and here's him establishing this, or here's a scene where he tells somebody his origin. It's just like,
Right.
everything is just like, okay, if you've lived in America, it's freaking Superman. All right, here we go. Like, here we go.
Except for this fucking YouTube video that I saw today where the thing was, I don't know anything about Superman. Here's my review. And it's like, then I have no interest in what you have to say because you are one of the most ignorant motherfuckers on this platform.
That's absurd. Yeah.
It was, I think the only like that I think Nicholas Hoult as Luthor is fine. He may be a little miscast. I don't know that he necessarily has. I still feel like we haven't had the perfect live action Lex Luthor. He lacks gravitas. He's good. He's fine. He can read the lines. Like he's fine. He's serviceable, but he still doesn't have that like. There's a piece missing that like I think over time the Clancy Brown Superman animated series and Justice League Lex Luthor has become sort of my mental Lex Luthor outside of other media, where like he's pretty spot on to how I imagine Luthor to be, and we haven't seen that character on film, and Nick Hoult is not that. He's not Mark Zuckerberg, but he's still a little too. He just lacks the gravitas, the heft that I want to feel from Luthor.
Yeah, I've always felt that Luthor is older than Superman. I feel the same way with the Joker. I've always felt that he should be a little older than Batman. And so when it feels like the character is possibly younger than Superman or on this like right around the same age, like that was my problem with like I never watched it, but I really didn't like the concept of like the Smallville show where it's like, oh, we went to high school together. And it's like, what?
But that's canon, right? Like that was
is it?
Yeah, that's Silver Age canon was that they had gone to high school together, and the whole thing back in the day was that Lex Luthor's grudge was not that Superman was an alien; it was that Superman made him bald when he was a teenager. That it was like he accidentally started a chemical fire when he was Superboy, and it made Lex Luthor bald. And Lex Luthor was like, "How dare you make me bald? I'm only 16."
Yeah.
But that's like the original. That's like the original Lex and Superman relationship was that he was pissed off that he was prematurely bald. And then it wasn't until it was in the 80s when John Byrne came in and did Man of Steel miniseries and like relaunched it that he established Luthor as like, oh, he's older, he's already a successful businessman, like, and that thread of like this outsider might keep me from gathering power, and so I'm going to focus all my energies on stopping this outsider from possibly stopping me from amassing power. But that didn't happen until the post-crisis reboot.
Yeah. And that's really what I know is post-crisis DC.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Superman / Clark?
He's good. He's a little bit between Tom Welling and Cavill. He kind of like sits between the two, sort of looks and energy wise. He's funnier. We haven't had a funny Superman. He's a funny Superman, but he's not Star-Lord funny. So it feels the way that Superman has been funny on the pages of the comics, because sometimes Superman is a little humorous in the comics, and that is rarely translated to screen. Christopher Reeve gets a few little moments. He has some things where he gets to be a little humorous, but we haven't had a funny Superman since Christopher Reeves, and he does get the opportunity to be funny.
I really loved Brandon Routh. I thought he got a raw deal because like the story that he's in is not great, but I thought his performance was great because I love his portrayal of Clark in particular, because like he gets like a really good like kind of nerdy like version of him, and I love that part where he sees Lois in the crowded elevator and he lights up, but like she's like not paying attention to him. Like it's like a really good like visual gag that I always like. I was like, okay, I like this guy, and I always wanted him to get into the movie, but the plot of that movie is trash.
Yeah,
I think I might have seen that one. I know I've seen one of the newer Supermans, but it wasn't the
It's
it
so
wasn't
long.
Cavill. It was the guy before him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
It's like that's another one that's 2.5 hours long, and I just rewatched it.
It was
It's
a
just
long
like
movie.
brutal. Where it's there's not enough plot for this to be 2 hours and 30 minutes long. Like it's just not.
I've forgotten. I almost forgot that I even seen it or it came out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
It's not an easy movie to rewatch.
No.
The other thing about Superman is that it's very cartoony. It feels a little bit like a live action cartoon in good ways and in bad ways, both. But it's sort of like baked in, so it's sort of like that's the approach, right? Is like, oh, it's going to be kind of like big and colorful and just a little bit corny. And it's a good-hearted movie. Like it's got like a I I don't I would sort of consider its central thesis almost a spoiler, and I think it's kind of laid out at the very very end of the movie, and it is one of positivity, and people kind of throw around like it's what the world needs right now, but there's something kind of
But it is though.
it is though, and there's also something kind of bold about having a movie just be like so naked in its desire for people to be kind to each other.
Yeah.
And that was that should not be something refreshing when I'm watching a superhero movie, but it was something that was refreshing.
Yeah, and I wanted to kind of, do a mea culpa on a discussion that you and I had like 20 years ago.
Oh no.
Because I remember coming to, like, I forget why. I want to say it was when we went to WrestleMania 25, because we were in Houston
Yeah.
and I met your dad, and we were kind of having a talk about like Superman and Batman.
Okay.
And, I talked about how I liked Batman more because I appreciate the concept of a guy who doesn't have any abilities, but still goes out every night to do stuff. And he works really hard to be able to do it. And I still feel that way. Like I prefer characters that, have to work for it. But I realize, and it's funny. It took until the Snyder interpretation of Superman for me to realize that I had fundamentally misunderstood Superman, and it took somebody else fundamentally misunderstanding Superman for me to see it, which is because my whole thing in that discussion was like, yeah, but Superman can do whatever, and like it's not interesting because he's just like all powerful and he doesn't have like any like hard choices or anything like that. But at the end of the day, the it's almost the hardest choice because he could take over in a day if he chose to, and he doesn't because he's just a fundamentally good person.
This movie
and
is
he never lets
explicitly
go
about that.
of that light.
Yeah.
Hmm?
This movie is explicitly about that. It
and
is
that's so refreshing
absolutely,
coming
like,
off of
it's part of the fabric of the story of the movie. Is
Yeah.
about that, which is like,
and I'm excited
yeah.
for that.
That's the thing. So that's where Batman and Superman, like, I think that's where I think that's why people like to see them together, because you have somebody who shouldn't, like what you said about Batman, where it's like, here's somebody who has to really work to do this thing every day. And you have somebody who and both of them, it's like the only choice that they have is to do this thing. And like, you have someone who both of them could do anything else. Like literally, even though that their power sets are completely different, they could both do literally anything else other than try to make the world a better place. And both of them do. And I think that's why people like seeing them, as they're at the end of the day, they share that commonality. It's going to be real interesting to see what Batman looks like in this world, because I have to imagine it's going to come the closest to the Batman that we have yet to see on screen, which is we have not seen a Batman yet that's kind of like the one from animated series.
That's what I've been wanting
And
all this time.
And
I feel that the animated series is the only piece of media outside of the comics to actually fundamentally get all facets of Batman.
We might end up with a fun Batman, and fun doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be like it doesn't have to
Silly.
be it doesn't have to be silly, but we may end up with a Batman where the they're making the freaking Clayface movie. But it's like where those kind of characters and like Man Bat can live side by side with like mobsters and stuff like that, and
Yeah,
and
man,
like and have weird mad scientists like Hugo Strange, like those kind of elements of Batman where you're like there's so much flexibility in the stories, and we kind of have the camp goth opera stuff of Burton, and we have the kind of like 007 adjacent stuff of like Nolan. Reeves is interesting in that it's sort of like the Batman. It has its own flavor, but it still doesn't feel comic booky. It still kind of feels like a desire again to go like, what would Batman be like if he really lived amongst us in the real world, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's like, okay, cool. But there's still this opportunity for like this swashbuckling, still serious, but with the air of just like, I mean, the cartoon, it's so, you guys have seen the cartoon, so it's serious, but it's fun. And things can be serious and fun. And like,
give me a Batman movie where he's fighting the ventriloquist.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
I'm super curious to see. The only thing that gives me pause is that it's from the director of The Flash. And that's like, The Flash was no bueno.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that
I've
I'm
heard.
like, I don't know about that, but I don't know. The Flash had its own set of problems, and who knows by the time that they start rolling camera, because they right now they're in the middle of shooting Supergirl, which is based on a great comic. Supergirl, I think it's called Woman of Tomorrow, which is about Supergirl has her 21st birthday, and she can't get drunk on Earth because of the yellow sun. So she gets a special ship so she can go deep, deep, deep into space away from the yellow sun and get effed up on another planet to celebrate her 21st birthday. She goes to this planet to get wasted. Meanwhile, this young girl on the planet, her family is killed by this like space pirate. And she comes to Supergirl and it's like, hey, I heard you were on my planet. All of the Kryptonians are like your surviving Kryptonians are legendary amongst the galaxies. I need you to go kill this guy. And Supergirl's like, I'm not going to kill that guy. Leave me alone. I'm having a birth. I'm not going to kill him. And she's like, no, vengeance is at hand. Like, we got to go kill this guy. And Supergirl's like, leave me alone. I don't want to kill. I don't kill. I'm not a killer. I don't know what you heard. I don't kill people. And Supergirl goes to leave, and her rocket has been stolen by the guy that she's being asked to kill. So then she's like, well, crap. I have to go chase him anyways, even if I didn't want to, because he has my freaking rocket and I can't get back to Earth without it. And so her and this girl team up, and she basically like tries to both hitch a ride and play detective across these planets to like find where this guy is and get a rocket ship and go back home. It's so good. And they're adapting it from what I understand.
That's pretty great.
Yeah, they're adapting it from what I understand pretty faithfully. And that's shooting right now. So the next one should be Supergirl.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. I mean, that was the thing that I really loved about the first Aquaman movie. I didn't see the second one.
Oh, it's so bad.
That Aquaman movie was like so like it did not give any fucks. It was like, we are a comic book movie, and there's all this like crazy shit that we're throwing at you, and I was like, I was there for it. I really, really loved that movie.
Yeah. Second one is not good.
Yeah.
Second one is not good.
I pretty much haven't watched a DC movie since,
Did you see Blue Beetle?
Shazam, with the exception of, I mean, the Batman is like its own thing. But as far as like that old cinematic universe, the last thing that I saw was the first Shazam. Whatever came out, either that or Aquaman, whichever was like the last one. And then I did see the second Suicide Squad movie, which was like fine.
Did you see Birds of Prey?
Oh, I did see Birds of Prey. Okay,
I think Birds of Prey.
I didn't see Aquaman 2. I didn't see Shazam 2. I didn't see...
Terrible, both of them. Both of them are.
Yeah.
Shazam 2 is more egregiously terrible than Aquaman 2 is. Aquaman 2 is bad, but feels... Aquaman 2 is really weird in that it feels like nobody came to play. It feels very strange. It feels like whatever dedication level they had from the actors on part 1 feels completely lost in part 2. There's a scene that I actually filmed with my phone to show somebody, not in the theater, but here at home, because I was trying to describe the scene where it's like 5 different actors and they all have a line to say that's all exposition, like, oh, we have to fire up the cannons to do this thing to fight this guy, and each one of them has like a comment about it, and everybody's acting is all over the place. Like, nobody is acting like they're in the same movie together. Everybody delivers their lines in completely different ways, and Momoa is the worst out of all of them. He's just like, he just says it. Like, he says it like they just rolled him out of bed. And it's like they just throw as much CG as they can to like fill in the mortar between these like terrible scenes. It's not good. The Blue Beetle is the one that's like the little underdog movie. I liked Blue Beetle. I thought it was funny. It's enjoyable. If you get the chance and you are craving a decent, funny superhero adventure, Blue Beetle was so much better than I thought it would be. Blue Beetle was really good.
Yeah. Well, I also saw a movie, and I'm not going to talk about it very quickly, other than to just highly recommend K-pop Demon Hunters on Netflix.
Surprisingly, I've watched about half of this movie, so yeah.
Yeah. It was one of those things. I mean, I guess it makes sense how I have found out about it, because now that I'm into the whole VTuber thing, like it definitely made the rounds within that community, where a lot of the Hololive girls were like raving about it. And I was like, all right, let me look at this trailer. And I was like, I like the look of this. I like how silly these girls are.
Yeah.
And I was going to be visiting my friends in Colorado who have Netflix. And I asked my friend's channel, I was like, can we watch this? And she was like, no. Like, I saw the trailer, I watched it a couple times, it looks awful. And then we got up there and I was like, please? And she was like, fine. And then we watched it and she was like, that was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And then a couple days later she was like, I bought some of the soundtrack.
Yeah.
And then like after I left, she was like, I watched it again. And I was like, yeah, see?
Yeah.
It's really good. The characters are really likable. The animation's incredible.
It is really good.
The music is great.
Music is very, very decent K-pop, actually. Yeah.
My only thing, and maybe it just comes from like the way I was raised and stuff, like it's a PG movie, and I'm like, it feels like a PG-13 movie to me. Like,
yeah,
they're actually dismembering the demons that they're fighting, even if it's done with silhouette.
They're talking about like killing them and all this stuff, like just openly, like, yeah, no, we're gonna kill them. That's what we're gonna do. And it's like,
and the amount of horniness that the girls are for. So the premise is you have these 3 women who are in a K-pop group who are also demon hunters, hence the name. They're from like a long line of singers who also fight demons.
Yes.
But now it's obviously more commercialized because that's just the way the world is. And they've been fighting these demons. These people have been fighting the demons for hundreds of years, but finally, like, this one demon says, I've got an idea. We're going to fight fire with fire. And so they start a demon boy band.
Yes.
And they look like really studly, sexy K-pop boy bands.
It's basically, essentially, through that lens, it is the K-pop, like, to equivalent it to something. It's like Blackpink and BTS are now having to fight each other, actually.
Right. But Blackpink is also super horny for BTS, right, and that's the part where I was like, I don't know, like if I had a kid, I don't know if I would necessarily like let them watch this at like PG age, because it's like they're like overtly like horny for these guys in a way that was like kind of like surprisingly like it was a lot for the rating. I was like, huh. This really does feel like a PG-13 movie, but not a complaint. I think if anything, it feels like more mature than what the rating would suggest when you're going into it. Thoroughly enjoyed it. The music is a bop. I've definitely like checked out some of the like music videos on YouTube like since I watched it. I would watch it again if I had Netflix, but I don't.
Yeah. I still have to finish it, but from what I've seen, I was enjoying it a good amount. Yeah. So yeah.
Got some good characters in there. Got some good visual bits. I like the big blue cat. So fun design. Well, before we take off, let's just get a couple more of these comments, questions, and concerns. I know the show's running long, so we won't do a ton of these because we'll save some for next time. Let's see. Oh, this is a good one. From 60X Self, are there any games or franchises that feel wrong to play with a certain controller? For me, Resident Evil with an Xbox controller always feels weird. Metal Gear for me.
I could see that.
I have to play Metal Gear Solid on a PlayStation controller.
Yeah.
Also Final Fantasy at this point, because like I associate Final Fantasy with PlayStation.
Yeah, that's also fair.
I'd never played a Tony Hawk game with anything other than a PlayStation controller. So to play the Game Pass version of 3 and 4, but it was a little weird. But it wasn't like I was still able to. I was still as good as I would have been with a PlayStation controller. But I did notice notice the feel all the time, and I don't ever think about that feel. And it felt different, even though I was doing the same. Like my scores would have been the same regardless, but I was way more aware of the feel.
Yeah, I get that
for sure. Man, that's a tough one, and I'm trying to think of like actual modern stuff that I've messed around with. I don't really have this as much as other people do, but I definitely understand the sentiment where it's like mostly because I played a lot of shit on a modded Xbox, and so everything felt wrong when you do it that way. So I when everything feels wrong, you're just like, okay, the Xbox controller is just what I play everything on. It was a little weird playing through Cyberpunk on a PlayStation controller, just because I had played it 2 times already on an Xbox controller. So maybe that's my answer, but I don't know. There's nothing I can think of off the top of my head where if I played it with a PlayStation controller or Xbox controller, I'd feel weird about it. Or they just don't exist on those systems. I could imagine like trying to play Halo on a fucking PlayStation controller would probably be really weird. Any first-person shooter on a PlayStation controller just does not feel right to me. So, yeah, it's where the sticks are. I just don't.
I get it.
Yeah,
yeah. We talked about that a couple episodes ago.
It's
with a comment or a question rather.
Yeah.
Just had it. Okay. Xrian says, what are your most whistleable songs in games or any media, I suppose? I taught myself how to whistle so I could whistle Frog's song from Chrono Trigger.
I will not whistle, as I know John Gholson not a big fan of the whistling.
What?
I can't whistle.
What? Where did you? This feels like a made up fun fact about me.
No, I remember whistling and John having a reaction to it. This is a thing I distinctly remember happening.
I don't know. I don't recall this. It may have just blown directly into my ear. Maybe I had my headphones up high.
It probably
I don't think I was anti. I'm not anti whistling.
Okay, not anti whistling.
If that happened, it might have just been.
Okay, I misinterpreted and I apologize.
You are free to whistle, and if I need to turn my headphones down, then let me know. If you need to bust out,
John is not anti-whist.
Yeah, I won't do it though. I will sit at work. I have a pretty vast video game soundtrack collection that I will listen to while working, because video game music is pretty nice for that, because it's it's just kind of relaxing. You can kind of zone out to it. I will whistle a lot of shit. And there are a lot of video game tracks that are just specifically whistling. Like,
if I could whistle, I would whistle the theme song to Wild Arms.
Sure. Yeah. There's the one, I mean, that is fuck, what's that game called? Deadly Premonition has the one track. I forgot the name of it already, but it's specifically whistling. Da, 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 that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can whistle that one pretty good if I need to. I often find myself whistling everything from Octopath Traveler. Those both of the soundtracks, 1 and 2. A lot of Final Fantasy stuff too. But yeah, anything with a flute is usually something you want to whistle.
I don't really listen to a lot of music in general anymore, and
Mhm.
very little video game music. Because I don't do like the Spotify stuff or anything like that. So, like, I do have video game soundtracks like on my phone from importing them, like ripping my CDs, but I rarely like sit down to listen to them anymore.
Right.
I was humming something from a game recently, and I don't remember what it was. Because it was like something that I'd been playing and I was like really into the music, but I don't remember what it was. But I want to say last year I ended up doing that a bit with like some of the tracks from Unicorn Overlord, because that game just got like in my head.
Sure. Yeah.
But I don't really remember. I've been like I've been listening to a lot of Hololive music, so I've been like like kind of singing Hololive music, like just as I put putter around the house, but
Right.
that's a different thing.
I'm a hummer, not a whistler.
That's
fair.
I
can't whistle.
I can whistle,
humming.
but if I'm walking around, I'm usually humming or doing like. I've been told before, and Julian may attest to this, having worked with me at several different jobs. I've been told before that I am like a compulsive singer, whistler, hummer, doodler. That
I do that a lot myself.
Constantly do that. I've been told by people, it's like, oh, you're like always singing. Bubble bobble is a common one that it's like a common like
sure
thing that I'll go back to over and over and repeat. The Silent Hill melody that sounds like the Justin will appreciate this. The Silent Hill melody that sounds like the Roman Reigns theme song that goes that one.
Yeah.
I find myself like whistling or humming the like
yes
all the time. And is it just me, or does that sound like Roman Reigns theme music?
Oh, it does. Yeah. Dun 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 dun. The Roman Reigns is dun 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 dun. It's something like that. Yeah.
I don't know if that's from the movie. I don't know if that's from one of the games. I associate it with Silent Hill.
It's from one of the games,
and I know it's in the movie. But in the movie, I thought it when I heard it in the movie.
It is in the games.
I was like, oh, that's the game music being used in the movie.
Yeah, it is.
I
think it's from 3.
Yeah, I don't know. And then Witcher stuff, like because all 3 of the Witcher 3 soundtracks are a bop, but I don't. It's also one of those things where I was sitting here talking to you guys, and all the ones I could think of were ones I don't hum. And I was like, wait, which is the one that I hum? And I'm like, I know there's something, and I kept thinking of ones that I don't. And I was like, I don't hum that one. I don't hum that one. I was like going through them in my mind, like, no, I never do that one. So,
I mean, this is kind of a different thing, but I got back on my
horse,
the Herald of Darkness thing from Alan Wake 2. Like, I ended up like watching the music video, and then I watched the Game Awards version of it, and then I watched like the Final Fantasy 14 spoof of it, and so then that was stuck in my head for a while, where I was just like humming along to Herald of Darkness, because that you're just gonna do that
for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we'll kind of cap it off there. Pretty long show. It's
indeed.
But John, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely,
it kind of came
John.
together like kind of just spontaneously, because I didn't think you were going to be able to guest for a while because of just your work schedule. So it was nice when you were like, oh, I can be on this week.
Yeah,
I was like, oh,
I'm rehearsing for a play. There's a
nice.
There's a film version of a novel, and it's called We Need to Do Something. And the author of the book has written a play, and we're the first cast to perform We Need to Do Something, which is a horror story about a family that are all trapped in the bathroom during a storm that may or may not be a natural storm. It may be something supernatural. And everybody kind of gets on each other's nerves and goes crazy. And I'm rehearsing for that right now. When it
Nice.
opens last weekend of August, first weekend of September is when it opens. But yeah,
I can't wait to see that. That's going to be cool.
I hope so. Man,
Yeah.
for an actor, I tell you what, I don't like learning lines. That's for sure. So,
Oh, I believe it.
it's really, it stresses me out and it makes me, I get really worried. And so far I've done pretty good. Like I enter the situations knowing my lines, but man, the time before you know that you learn your lines is really difficult, like mentally. Because once you know them, then you come out with this, like, you come out the other side like, oh, okay, I knew my lines. Like, I know my lines. And then
Mhm.
it's more or less pretty easy after that. But
Right.
the days leading up to discovering whether or not you know your lines are very, very taxing. So,
Well, I was watching a making of A Scanner Darkly in preparation for that Cinemorons episode. And
Yeah.
apparently the way Robert Downey Jr. does it is he writes out his lines very sloppily and then reads over that a few times. And then he takes like dialogue and breaks them into just the first letter of each word. And he says, like, if you know what the letters stand for, then you know your lines, which sounds ridiculous to me, but that's how Robert Downey Jr. in 2006 did it.
yeah.
I don't know. John, is there anything that you want to direct people towards?
I mean, I'm on Blue
At the
Sky
moment.
at Gholson. I don't necessarily have anything out there floating around right now. And nobody, I think, lives local enough to see me in the play. So,
Yeah.
I'm shooting a short film on Monday, and I've got an energy drink commercial on Wednesday. So who knows if you'll see me in
Nice.
either of those things? But I don't know. Nothing.
Who
with
can
me.
say?
And, I got some buildings to place in a theme park game. Just doing some of that.
Yeah.
If you wanna-
you
if
got
you
to
wanna-
play some hot dog stands.
If you want to visit my theme park and just admire the placement of the bathrooms, then that'll be available. I can make that available to you online.
Have you put all the dessert stalls in one convenient location?
I like to theme each area,
Okay.
and
All right.
then make sure that they all have like the appropriate snacks for that particular area.
Okay. All right. That's
So
fair. That's
what I
fair.
like to do.
It's good way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And Justin, where can they find you?
You can find me
At
on
Jurassic
YouTube.
World. No,
At
sorry.
I wish. If only. Who wouldn't want to be there? You can find me on YouTube at Tyrone Swift TV, and twitch.tv/Tyrone Swift is also a place. Even though I haven't been there in a while. Again, life comes at you fast. It's been real weird. I'm getting there. I'll find that balance someday.
You can find me on Blue Sky at Julian Titus. Just search for my name, you'll find me. You can find the show on Twitter at Stage Select Pod. If you want to submit a question, comment, or concern, you can email us. The email address is thestageselectpod@gmail.com. You can comment on the show on Patreon or YouTube, or you can join our Discord, and there's a channel in there for that as well. Discord is a very fun place to be. Thanks as always to the wonderful Megan McDuffie for our theme song and interstitial tracks. Thanks to friend of the show, John Gholson, for continuing to be our announcer and also for guesting this week. But that's going to do it for this episode of The Stage Select. I've been Julian Titus. He's been Justin Ham. Special thanks to John Gholson. We've been The Stage Select. Signing off.
Uh-huh.
The Stage Select is copyrighted and owned by Space Monkey Mafia Productions, specializing in independent podcasting. Please consider sharing the show with your friends and support us by joining our Patreon or donating to our coffee. Thank you, and good night.